What's up, my friends in film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us just a little bit of your time. Only one left, folks. One more night, one more sleep, one more dream until we restore at least a little bit of sanity back to the United States of America. Going to be doing a little bit of a different show tonight. I want to try to get into doing some more news-style stuff. There will be one entertainment topic tonight that is of interest to me, but we are going to talk about some of the things going on. Obviously, if you've read the description, we're going to be talking about TikTok because that's the news right now. Also, some other things that are going on around the world that are of interest to me. And here to talk to me about them is my head of life mate, Jeremy. What's up, brother?
Well, not really, because literally I think about half of this show is about sports balls, and I'm not going to sit here in a panel with four grown men talking about playing with balls. So you guys can have fun with that. I'll pop in when I'm needed. And I do have something.
Done that.
I know. I'm just saying I have not participated in any of that, so. And I wouldn't even know where to begin with that. But I will pop back in here for some stuff, and I'm going to switch over to my phone and do something special for all of you. So stay tuned if you know. I almost said, but if you know what's good for you, but let's not go there.
We really should have just sucked it up and got it together really quick for last weekend, but that's okay. We're gonna get it right. We'll do a full-fledged one that we can live stream one of these days. But Jeremy will give you guys a little treat later on. And then, of course, with me is the Shape of the Lone Star State, my man Tex. What's up, brother?
Well, Frank, I've got good news. That I feel like I should break on your show. Obviously, the MAGA King returns tomorrow. Hail, by the way. But he gave me permission to break this news ahead of time. I have been declared the debauchery czar. And my duties in this role will be I will be making strip clubs great again and horror films great again by making them as filthy and vile and debaucherous as possible. So I promise to deliver on my position. So you can look forward to
that. And, of course, to be the one sane voice of reason, the one who is probably a little bit smarter than all of us combined, Alex Winifred Payne. What's up, brother?
I really appreciate that confidence. So just because you said that, I will make sure to be as idiotic tonight as humanly possible. And on that note, my food is ready, so I will be back in 5-10
now,
minutes.
how many times are you going to pimp your book, though? Like 20? Or how many can we count on?
We'll see.
The counter in the corner.
I'm paying somebody to keep track in the chat. But I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
You know what's funny is I was mentioning back and forth with Alex about this the other day. There's another movie channel I watch is really into horror called Gory B Movie, and she was talking about books that she had read a couple of days after we had done the election stream. She was talking about the New Year's stream is rather than what he was on, but she was talking about some of the books she had read this year that she really liked, and that was one of the books that she had pointed out, and I was like, my God, really? Why can I not get away from this damn book all of a sudden? But yeah, I mean, the book is out there. I'm sure Alex will talk about it again at some point tonight. But like I said, here's what we're going to do tonight. I've got 3 or 4 stories that are of interest. Some of them, one sports ball story, 1/2 movie stories, depending on how you look at it.
Yay, sports ball.
And then the other one, look, I mean, the lead story, the one I'm going to start with tonight is a sports story, but it's really about people rather than sports and how stupid they can really be sometimes when they're in the public sphere. And then, of course, we're going to talk tonight about the TikTok ban that ended up stopping after 12 hours and had a bunch of 12-year-old girls in a fucking frenzy because they couldn't watch their 12-year-old girls dance on fucking phones. Whatever. We'll give you guys our thoughts on that here in a little bit. But let's get to the first thing I want to talk about real quick, and that is for all you baseball fans out there. You remember watching the World Series. Nobody outside of LA or New York gave a shit except for this one moment where 2 MLB Yankee fans who interfered with Mookie Betts in the 2024 World Series have been banned from all ballparks indefinitely, according to this report from Yahoo Sports. I'll read a little bit here. The 2 New York Yankee fans who became infamous figures for interfering with Los Angeles Dodgers outfielder Mookie Betts in Game 4 of the 2004 World Series have been banned indefinitely from attending games at any Major League Baseball stadium. During the first inning of Game 4, Betts attempted to make a catch in right field foul territory at Yankee Stadium. He reached over the wall to the first row of seats and caught the fly ball. However, 2 fans sitting along the wall then tried to take the ball from Betts' glove. One of the fans was shown on camera trying to pull Betts' glove open to get the ball, while the other grabbed the outfielder's wrist to prevent him from pulling the glove and ball back into the field of play. Umpires called fan interference, and awarded Betts the out. Of course, the fans were then ejected in short order from Game 4 of the World Series, which is probably the easiest decision that needed to be made. Get these guys the fuck out of there. I don't know. I'll go to you first, Tex. Being a sports fan the way I am a sports fan,
Yes,
what
sir.
do you think of just the incident as a whole? Because we never really talked about it on this channel. The incident as a whole and where it stands right now with these guys being banned for indefinitely from all major league stadiums.
Yeah, you guys have fun time.
Well,
I'll be back.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with this. It's one thing for a fan to reach out and grab a foul ball or something like that, but when you're literally in the World Series, the event that defines your whole sport, while you play 162 games a year, and to have a physical altercation where you're fighting with one of the stars of that sport, yeah, you deserve to be indefinitely banned. And whatever else happens to you, you deserve. It's not often that I agree with higher management, but MLB made a good call on this one. This could have swayed a championship if the umpire didn't rule fan interruption or whatever. I think they're completely on point with this call, and I think they're justified. Fuck these guys.
I want to point out first, as much shit as I've been giving umpires the last several years, because officiating in professional sports all over the place has gotten really, really bad. There's a little bit more. We're going to talk about that later on. But officiating in baseball has not been as good as it has been in the past, and it's affected games. It kind of started several years ago with the whole not getting the perfect game call right at first base with the one umpire when it was clear that was an out. And we're not talking about mistakes. We're talking about kind of obvious lapses in judgment that, it doesn't even take replay to fix. You're standing right there. You're looking at, even in real time, some things are very clear. But they did make the right call right away. That was the most important thing. Second thing to remember is, look, New York's got a reputation for fans that are a little rambunctious, want to be a little more involved than they should be. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of
they're New Yorkers.
They're
known for being
obnoxious. There's a certain mentality that comes just being from New York. I will give them that.
Yeah.
But you can't go to a professional sporting contest and act like that. It's just retarded. I really don't know, and I'll put this picture up again because it's also terribly clear. If I showed you the video, it would look even worse. But it's like Mookie Betts reaches over to make the catch, and it's not like they backed away and let him make the catch like most people would have done and waited to see if the ball popped out or landed. They reached out, grabbed his arm, and not just grabbed his arm, but opened up the glove, trying to get the ball. Which to me, look, if I was the Dodgers, I would be more upset that maybe Mookie Betts could have gotten an injury, because when you're talking about investing, I don't know what Mookie Betts makes in his contract. He's one of the higher paid baseball players.
Yeah, he's worth millions to the Dodgers organization. I'm surprised that MLB didn't press charges for some sort of light assault on these guys. Like you said, I don't know what his contract is worth.
I don't think it would have been up to MLB, or if it would have been up to the teams or the stadium or the local municipality. I don't think MLB would have had much say in it. However, what does get me is, like, if Mookie Betts would have been injured, you're talking about a guy they've got I think $70 million invested in over the course of the next 3 or 4 years.
Oh, sure.
I would 100% tear these guys a new one in court. Luckily, he wasn't hurt. I don't think it changed the outcome of the series. Obviously, the Dodgers were outmatching the Yankees in every step of the way throughout this entire series. So I don't know that necessarily it would have affected the series, even if that call would have gone the other way. But fans cannot act like this. One of the things I like about baseball more than any other sport is you can go sit along the foul lines and be literally 12 to 15 feet in most stadiums from the field of play. Nothing between you and the field of play, you and these multi-million-dollar athletes, you and these very fit young men who could probably kick your ass if you really want to go out and step up to them. The only thing standing between you and them is like a 3-foot wall and some green padding. That's it. That's the only thing keeping you out of trouble. That and your good sense to not want to be a part of the process of this game happening. And baseball, more than any other sport, has got that. Basketball obviously is a bit different because the seats are almost on top of the court in some places, but they have a lot of security to match up with that. Baseball really doesn't. Football, there's a lot of barriers between jumping out of the stands and getting to the field. You got to go through usually a sideline.
Well, look how often people jump through. jump the wall at a baseball game and they get to center field before the security gets to them. That just goes to show, by what you were saying, you've got easy access, and the field of play is much larger than a basketball court. But it's just okay. Take this out of a baseball game and just put this in a normal stance of life. If you're grabbing somebody's wrist and holding it while your buddy is prying their hand open, that's either assault and or theft at a minimum. So the fact that this is done on a larger scale, I'm highly surprised that no charges were brought. I don't know if these guys had attorneys that represented them, if there was a negotiation. I have no idea. Maybe they negotiated this down to just a lifetime ban and no charges pressed.
I don't think they negotiated anything with these guys because these guys didn't have any grounds for negotiation. Baseball can in my opinion, should look at these guys and be like, you are not allowed back into a Major League Baseball stadium ever. I don't give a shit how much you pay for a ticket. I don't give a shit how much you beg. I don't give a shit how much you bitch online. You are not allowed in a Major League Baseball stadium for the rest of your natural fucking life. It's just the way it is.
I agree.
Like I said, it's not. Look, because a lot of people try to compare this to Bartman. I'm like, no. The difference between Bartman in this situation is Bartman was just trying to catch a ball that was clearly going into the crowd. Alou tried to make the play in left field. They interfered with each other, and shit went the way it went. So now, and again, the umpires called the other way in that direction. But I mean, it wasn't catchable. I don't know. But I mean, you can't. What really got me about this whole thing is not even just the interference. They're holding on to his glove. They are trying to pull it open. They are pulling on his glove arm. That's a physical danger to the player. That is a lot different than Moises Alou and Steve Bartman both going for a fly ball looking up. It wasn't like Bartman was slapping Alou's hand away or pulling on him, trying to reach for the ball. These guys were, in their own knowledge, of their own volition, trying to pull on this guy's fucking arm and glove, and potentially knowing they could do damage, all to get a fly ball, not even a home run. If it had been a home run that won the game or something, I might have been a little bit more understanding. Guys, it's a foul ball. Are you really going to go through all this for a foul ball? You're kind of morons, and I hope you guys never ever go to a baseball game again.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, that player is worth billions to the Dodgers organization. And let's say it's even a sprained wrist, like nothing major, but in that sense, it's huge. A sprained wrist, he's not playing. That could cost the Dodgers everything. And who knows what it would end up costing Mookie Betts with, payoffs of winning the series, MVPs, home runs, whatever it may be. For these two New York jackasses to just want a foul fucking ball, they could have swayed millions of dollars a different way, which would have been problems. But it's maybe it's an entitlement thing of, we paid X amount of dollars to go to this World Series, or I don't know, they're just douchebags in general. But you're assaulting a ball player they're at work. You just get to go pay to watch them work. There needs to be a respect level. You know what I'm saying? It's fine to heckle, hey, batter, do all that bullshit. Hey, I fucked your mother, swing, do whatever you got to fucking say. That's fine. Heckle them all you want. But it's just like at the strip club, it's hands off. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty simple rules.
Yeah, I don't understand. And what's funny is the seats they were in, I guess they belong. It's like, I don't know if you've ever checked prices for a World Series game. Those seats were probably about $3,000 a piece for one game.
Oh, yeah.
So in the fourth inning of the one game you could afford to go to, you were gonna do anything even slightly stupid enough to get yourself thrown out. Like even if they had all the pulling on him and trying to do all the shit that they ended up doing, I mean, just getting kicked out for interfering with the game itself is a dumb idea. That would have made me kind of lean back and be like, hey, if he's going to catch the ball, let him catch it. I don't want to get kicked out of the game that I paid $3,000 to sit here for 3 hours. But you paid that much to get yourself kicked out. You're a fucking moron.
I went to the 2010 World Series the first year that the Texas Rangers were in it. And even back then, I had mid-level seats, and it was like $600. Like, and that was 14 years, or a really fucking long time ago. So it's,
I just said I'm back, but I also want to say,
Oh, okay.
in reference to that as well, though, let's be honest. If you're gonna waste $3,000 on a seat at a game, you probably don't care about losing that 3,000.
I mean, I
No, but
would.
it's the
Yeah, but
well,
you're
it's
letting
not
it
even
off.
just that. I mean, these guys might be stockbrokers that work at a company that own those seats. We don't know that those guys own those tickets. A lot of these big corporate stadiums will have, attorneys have so many tickets and blah blah blah, whatever. That's just the
These
way a lot of these
days,
things work.
these days, companies they do the boxes now more than they do tickets. They still have season tickets,
Yeah,
but they do
yeah.
boxes now as opposed to field level tickets. From
But
what I've read, those
Oh.
seats actually aren't their seats. I think they bought them for that one game off the season ticket holder, and I think
yeah.
it was either one of the guys that did this dumb shit or the people that actually has the personal seat license for those seats is friends with Rob Gronkowski. That's what I heard.
Lovely. There you go. Yeah.
Or the guy that they actually pay. Yeah, so they shelled out a lot of money for seats they were going to sit at one time.
So
as far as I know,
do we know the intoxication level of these two fine gentlemen?
Well, it was only the fourth inning, so they could have been too hammered.
Well, hang on now. You know as well as I do. You pregame in the parking lot before you go into the stadium. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
Some people pre-game at home before they get to the parking lot.
Usually when I go to a pro game, I'll either go, if I go to a football game, we'll usually go down and tailgate and walk around and see the people tailgate and give them a few bucks for food, some beers. Baseball games, every football game, I usually get down there early. We'll catch some dinner, have a few drinks, and go to the game. But
that's what you do before you go to a ball game.
If I'm
shotgun 4 or 5 beers, get a good buzz going.
If I'm paying hard-earned money for outfield seats to game 85 of the season, I still don't want to get kicked out because my money. You know what I mean? It's like, because I don't have $3,000. I'll never go to a World Series game, not because I don't want to go, because I can't fucking afford tickets. I mean, hell, same thing with Super Bowl. I mean, who can afford Super Bowl?
I looked into going.
Are actually fans.
I looked into going to the 23 World Series with the Rangers in it, and tickets like. Any ticket worth buying was so it was so expensive that it was just not reasonable. I was at Rangers Stadium whenever they won in Game 5, but I was watching it on the Rangers television from Texas when they were in Arizona. Then that was like $20 to get in, so that was reasonable or whatever. But yeah, no, the prices of these things are already ridiculous. That's why I question, what were the ages of these guys? How intoxicated were they? They're like, there's so many questions that would go into something like this.
They look to be in their 30s. I mean, not terrible.
Yeah.
I'm guessing 30s, but still, I mean, age, drunkenness are not really important. They're kind of idiots, and I'm kind of glad they're not going to be in any Major League Baseball stadiums for at least a year.
Well, but how do we really know that are they going to, there's ways to get in. You go in, maybe you don't shave for a couple of days, or you wear sunglasses, or you don't wear sunglasses. You could get fucking in if you want to. I can't tell you how many bars I had a lifetime ban from that I somehow found my way into in my wilder days. It's fucking possible to do.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that most stadiums are using facial recognition now, especially in New York.
So. Right, but if you're at a Yankee game and there's 20,000 people, let's say, trying to get in, you're telling me that they're going to be able to pick that one person out, stop up a whole line. I would say there's at least an 80% chance they could go to a game next season and walk right in and nobody would say boo about it. But who knows?
I want to hear what you did to get a lifetime ban from a bar. I want to hear that story.
Oh, dude, I could write a book with some of the shit that I did, but I would have to edit names for certain people's liberties and whatnot. You know what I mean?
I got kicked out of the local Walmart a couple of times in high school because me and my friends would go play tackle football like 3 a.m. on the weekends. Get a Nerf ball from that little cage thing that they have on one of the end caps and go throw it.
We do that too. We chunk a football like from one side of Walmart to the other and see how far we could get it and everything else. We do all kind of dumb shit, but that's what you did, man. Small town life.
I don't know. All I know is I'm glad these guys are kicked out for in perpetuity. Even if it is only this season, I'm glad. Fuck them. You shouldn't act like an asshole anyway. Look, we saw how bad this can go. You guys remember the Malice from the Palace several years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you don't want fans interfering with players getting physical with them. For one, the players for most sports are probably going to kill most fans. I mean, let's be honest. They're not professional athletes because they're portly and well fed like me. They're professional athletes because they're like 6'8", 6'9", constantly working out. A lot of these guys are taking mixed martial arts now as just a way of staying healthy and keeping themselves conditioned. So you don't want to fight these fucking guys. They're probably going to hurt you. I don't understand why you want to like that.
It's when you really look at it, the most alarming part, like you said earlier, is not that a fan interfered, because I can't count how many times I've seen fans try to reach up and grab a ball when the outfielder runs and jump up, whatever. The assaulting of the player to me is the most disturbing part. Where if this was outside of the stadium, the police are taking you to jail for assault and attempted theft or whatever. Like that to me is the troubling issue. But I'm not going to make any excuses, because I know what it feels like to be in that World Series kind of playoff environment. It's high tense. It's you're on edge. But I've never fucking attacked a baseball player. You know what I mean? Like, there's no excuse for that. They need to be dealt with and move the fuck on.
But I don't know. You guys go down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. The two fans that interfered with Mookie Betts in Game 4 of the World Series have been banned for at least this coming season from any major league ballpark. I'm totally okay with it. Go down in the comments below and let us know what you think. Let's see. Moving on real quick. Rodrigo, my chat says he's from Argentina and he just subscribed. Thank you, Rodrigo. We appreciate it.
What's up, Rodrigo?
About how American abroad topics, no matter the topic, keeps me up over what is happening there. Thank you very much, Rodrigo. We appreciate it. We do news here and there, but usually we do movie reviews just so you are fully aware of what this channel is mostly about. But we do some other stuff. We're probably going to be doing some new stuff once a month or so here, just to kind of keep things a little different. I've got different videos I'm going to try to do over the course of the year, but I'll be getting those as the year goes on, one way or another. Thank you, Rodrigo. We're glad you're here with us. I'm moving on to the next topic now. Let's get into some of the movie news. I don't know what you guys think of this. We've talked about remakes and stuff before, but Goonies 2 is apparently in the works with one of the original writers returning. A new Goonies movie. This guy's actually coming from MSN. It's from Bang Showbiz website or whatever it's called. I don't know. The new Goonies movie is reportedly in the works at Warner Brothers. According to Deadline, the studio is looking to shift its strategy to proven franchises, which means we're going to be seeing a lot more legacy sequels, and so have put a sequel to late Richard Donner's 1985 adventure film into development. A follow-up will bring back the Goonies co-scribe Chris Columbus, who wrote the original film with Steven Spielberg, to pen the story for the upcoming movie. As well as the second-generation Goonies picture, Columbus is also set to be writing the script for a new Gremlins movie after he penned the treatment for the original film back in 1994. I don't know if Jeremy's back. Yeah, Jeremy is back. Jeremy, I'll go ahead and go to you first. Apparently, we are now in the process of getting a Goonies sequel and a Gremlins sequel. Do you think this is a good thing?
Nope. Next.
You didn't let me finish drinking my beer before you put all this stuff out there. Do you want to elaborate on that, Jeremy, or is that just kind of your flat answer?
I think there are plenty of videos in our catalog, which you should go check out, by the way, that has been well documented of how I feel about this particular subject. So go ahead, check those out. I'm sure there's plenty to be found. You're welcome for our own plug, because plugging yourself is always fun. I said what I said.
Sometimes you get lonely. Sometimes you do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, we lose TikTok and we all just get bored and start losing our damn minds. We got to find other avenues. No, I'm just kind of, again, and if you want the short version, but I'll still say go check out the other videos. But the short of it is, I'm just getting tired of legacy sequels like this because I know Frank always says like, you know, if it sucks, well, you still got the original. I'm like, right, but then you still have to act like, you know, that didn't exist. It's like it's still there. It's still out in the ether. I know Tex's favorite movie is obviously Halloween Ends, but you know, again, he looks around the room and he doesn't even look in that one's direction.
Motherfucker, we're about to,
come up here.
One more of those.
Come up here in the snow. I dare you. You won't.
One more of those, and I call blood feud against you. Just know that ahead of fucking time. Okay? So you got one more, motherfucker.
I don't even get 3. Damn, I just get 1.
No, you get cocksucker, motherfucker. I'll take the second one away. Goddamn it! Keep your shit up. Keep going.
He couldn't even finish out getting his cocksucker, motherfucker.
Like, I thought we were on the same team. We understand that Die Hard.
Oh, you know, we were till you started friendly firing, motherfucker. You took the first shot here. I'm just defending my fucking self. So. It's fine.
I was using it as an example. It's just a joke. Well, I understand.
Yeah.
Remember, I have the same feelings about that movie too. Because those, I guess, do have as like it's a legacy trilogy in a way. I don't know what it's called, but it's not something that. No, it's in all seriousness, it's not like, I don't know. There's certain, again, ones that don't need to be made. I don't really know as far as like the Goonies. I'm like, I know like Kei Kwan is on like a fucking hot streak right now. I'm like, yeah, but he's maybe the only one, and like Sean Astin. That's it. Do we really want to see fat Sean Astin in a fucking sewer playing pirates? I don't want to see that. That's what I mean. I don't know where you plan to go with this or what the story is going to be. And as for Gremlins, I mean, Gremlins, that's maybe a little easier to do. I mean, it's just you do the monsters right. Excuse me, in the story. But I keep my thought on this all the time is if you're going to have that big of a time gap, just do a remake.
Yeah,
that's a little safer. Yeah, because then you're not trying to bring in the fact that, well, it's a sequel. I'm like, okay, well, now you have a little bit more strict rules to follow, being that it's a sequel. If it's just something that's in that world that you just want to remake, then whatever, fine. I mean, remakes are always fun. People forget that Scarface is a fucking remake, right? Of all things, right? From like the 30s.
Yep.
Yeah. So
look at John Carpenter's The Thing. That's technically a remake, but it's better than the original.
Like, but superior remake, exactly, right?
Right.
Superior
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's better than The Thing from Outer Space. I mean, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Things.
So
I think the Rob Zombie Halloween remake is better than the original.
I completely fucking agree. You can be on whatever podcast you want because you said that. So you're fucking awesome. So hell yeah.
Hell, are you gonna replace me that fast? After all we have been through.
Hey, he out of nowhere. There's no way he knew Rob Zombie's Halloween is my favorite fucking movie. And for him to say that,
maybe he watches the channel. I don't know. Maybe he's just your biggest fan. I don't know.
Well, even if he does, that's fine.
It's not like Alex hasn't been around. He was just derailed.
Right.
It's not like he hasn't been around.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's what I'm saying.
I can't even tell you what my favorite movie is. You think I know what his is?
Hey, see, there you go. See, he can stay. I'm vouching for him. He's good. But please continue.
I just genuinely felt like that was just
Now hold on, I'm like, now I might have to start pulling some executive strings here because this was me and Frank's fucking brainchild was this channel. So now hold on, you're stepping on the wrong pair of toes there.
Well, no, see, you do that, and then Aaron's gonna be like, "Motherfucker, I was here before you, motherfucker." So we don't want to play this chicken and egg
commitment.
Game.
Aaron can fuck off. I said it.
See, we're starting this. We're starting this chicken and egg thing. It's gonna get nasty.
I was doing podcast with Frank before any of y'all. Okay, so it's fine. It's fine.
Fuck you guys. I'm gonna start going gaming, and I won't even. What's that? What that guy say? My main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody. Real funny.
There you go.
Speaking of blowing up, one of the best YouTubers there is. It's Dr. Nick. What's up, brother?
Hi, guys.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Hey.
Let me try to get Tex's final thoughts on this real quick. He's obviously been going on a little bit already, but I mean the concept of Goonies and Gremlins getting other. What do you think, Tex?
Well, we've just like Jeremy, spoke about a minute ago. We shit on so many legacy sequels that are unnecessary, and I know nobody's asking for just any property. We've got 15 different Halloweens and 13 Friday the 13th, but I do firmly believe there are certain properties that are of their time, and out of these two, between Goonies and Gremlins, fine to a Gremlins. Gremlins I could justify. Goonies, fuck no. We've got Sean Astin. He's a fat grandpa now. Nobody wants to see him playing, in the pirate, in the whatever. I don't know anybody who's just compelling for another Goonies movie. Now, I do have a conspiracy theory, though. I find it very convenient that Goonies news is coming out within the same month that they're re-releasing the original film into theaters. I find that timing very suspicious. Maybe they're trying to get more people to come watch it again on the big screen, and just as a test to see how well a new one may do. What's up, Alex?
I find it suspicious that Goonie and Gremlins both starts with a G.
There's
so does gonorrhea. What difference does it make?
There's connections. If we need to, we can get the Charlie Day red yarn out and start connecting these motherfuckers. All right, I'm willing to do that. That's fine. But I don't think anybody who wants a new Gremlins or Goonies movie. I don't even really need a new Gremlins movie. I'm not a big enough fan of the franchise to be like, oh shit, yeah, give me a third. I don't give a shit. Whatever. I'm good. I don't need either of these things. But
do you all believe if there's a long time gap between like how it's been 20, 30 years, do you think that the sequel should be the next generation, like maybe
look at it this way.
Stars kids or something?
I'll bring up two examples of a great legacy sequel that arguably is as good as the original, and something that I believe damaged the brand. The good one is Top Gun Maverick. I think that movie is as equally as good as the original. And then on the bad side, that shit Exorcist movie that fucking Blumhouse came out with. Believer. I 1000% believe Exorcist Believer did more brand damage than it did help, where they could be legally held liable for that shit because they fucked that shit 3 ways from Sunday. What's the risk reward on a Goonies and or Gremlins movie? I don't think it's worth it, but that's just me.
I don't know, Alex. I know you're not the cinephile that we are most days, but what do you think of the idea of having about both these movies getting the sequel treatment?
Oh fuck! There's Casey.
Well,
God damn it.
I haven't seen either one. I'll just put that out there. But from what I know of these, which is nothing, but I know enough to say they don't feel like they should have sequels at all. I feel like some stories and some movies and some concepts is like, because with Gremlin, sure, you could say bring the monsters back, but that's just to use a very illegal word. That's just retarded. I'm sorry. That's like saying let's make a Jaws movie because we could use a shark. It just seems pointless to me. So my opinion is these probably shouldn't have sequels just because it doesn't make sense for them to have sequels.
That's what I mean.
Nick, you're a movie guy like we are. Let me get you this real quick. They are apparently now in active pre-production development on a sequel to both Goonies and Gremlins. This is according to Deadline. Do you think these need sequels? What do you think about the prospect of this happening?
Okay, I agree with what Tex said with Gremlins. If I feel like Gremlins could kind of be like a timepiece, or something you can almost do any time. Okay, I feel like you can do that anytime. While you guys were talking, and I was trying to think of movies from our childhood that they couldn't redo because of obvious reasons. The first thing I thought of was Home Alone, because it's like, well, with texting and all this shit now, like I realized there were still holes in Home Alone, but even now it's like you can literally text whatever you wanted. There's so many ways. So to me, if these kids go off on this adventure, if that's what it was going to be, how easy would it be to be like, oh, where are our children? Oh, I just, used my Apple Google find to find where my sperm pet is, and he's over here. Let's go get him. What is he doing? This was like, for us, especially our age, the older guys here, like, this is shit we did as kids. Like, where me and Alex grew up, we were off in the woods on adventures all the time. So we were like, yes, we can be the Goonies. And a lot of times kids don't even touch grass today. So I don't think they'd actually appreciate how good it would be. But I think Goonies should be left alone. But I can see a Gremlins, whether it's Gremlins 3 or a reboot, I can totally see that happening.
Yeah, look, my point of view is it's never really changed. If you've got a good story, shoot your shot. I mean, look, as far as legacy sequels, look, a movie works or it doesn't. Whether it's a legacy sequel or a brand new property doesn't really matter. There's been a lot of brand new properties that have come out and performed like shit. There's been a lot of legacy sequels that have come out and done well. Does that mean all of them are going to be good? No, but shoot your shot. Look, Top Gun Maverick is every bit as good as the original Top Gun. I think it's a fantastic movie. The Ghostbusters movies, not so much Frozen Empire, but Afterlife, I thought was a really good movie. It was a love letter to Harold Ramis, and it had good ghost stuff in it. It missed a few beats, but it wasn't bad. I thought that was a good legacy sequel. Some have not worked very well. The last Matrix movie was not great. It didn't do well. But look, what makes a movie good or bad is creating fiction and story and acting and writing and all this other stuff. It's not whether the previous movie deserves a sequel or not. Because how many movies have been not so great, they come out with a sequel and the sequel is actually pretty good, or they come out with a really great movie that comes out and the sequel's terrible. It's not about whether a movie deserves it or not. It's whether you've got a good story to tell. There's opportunities to tell good stories in the Gremlins universe still. There's opportunities to tell good stories in the Goonies universe. I don't know what those stories are going to look like. I mean, I could come up with my own stories that sound good to me, but the bottom line is you got to get them on film. You got to flesh them all out to really see. So I say, if you think you've got a good story, damn it, put it in front of a camera. And if it sucks, I've always got the good Goonies movie from 1980, whatever, to go back to. I've always got the first two Goonies movies from the 80s to go back to. If Top Gun Maverick would have sucked, it would have changed my enjoyment for the first Top Gun movie. It just some movies just don't work no matter how hard you try. So I say if you've got a good story, shoot your shot. I mean, worst case scenario, the movie doesn't do very well. You're going to get dogged on by some people on the internet for a few months, and it's all going to go away. We're all going to go back to watch the original movie.
What kind of actual opinion as movie buffs? Because I'm curious about this now. Do you feel like y'all would prefer? Well, I guess what are y'all opinions on inspired by movies instead of remakes? Like making basically the same general concept, but just with different actors and a slightly different story. Would you prefer that over a remake, or what? Like, let's say, like, you use Gremlins, just make very similar types of monsters that work in a similar type of way, pick similar type of characters, and then just do it like that.
Technically, they've done that. Like, there's like Goonies. There's like 4 or 5 critters. Yeah. They've done that with 4 or 5 different franchises, and
that's what I'm
different
saying.
kinds of tiny monsters.
Over remakes, or would you just prefer
a
remake?
I guess, would it have a little bit more originality? I mean, it's like if you know it's in the same vein as something like Goonies or like Gremlins, I mean, maybe. Because like Frank said, like if you got a good story, and like I said, that's more originality if you're not tying yourself to that name, to that franchise.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the scrutiny, I think, comes from people like us, where we're like, oh, okay, you're going to make another Back to the Future? Yeah, we'll have fun with that, because we're not going to accept it. Like I finally saw like a clip from Tarantino where he said like, oh yeah, I can't remember which franchise he was talking about, but he's like, I watched 1, 2, 3, and then I was like, and then never watched anything after that because it doesn't exist to me.
Right.
Because it's shit. I'm like, that's what I've been saying for years. Like, it's like I will only watch one Jaws movie, the first one, maybe 2, but the rest of them don't exist to me. And if something does prove that, they literally came out with a box set of Ghostbusters of all the movies that they had up until that point, and they purposefully left out the 2016 Ghostbusters. And I'm like, if that isn't the greatest fuck you ever, that's exactly what we're saying.
You were in charge.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would have done. I would have packaged that whole bitch up and just left that one out. That's what I'm saying. They even left that out. They didn't even consider that. I'm like, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard. That an actual product was made that way. And like to me, in my mind, I'm like, no, I don't watch the movies in a series or franchise that like I don't like.
Ghostbusters 2016 is also another one of those movies that if I were a lawyer, I would argue did more brand damage than it did good. I would put that in the same category.
I'm saying the fact that they left it out on purpose was funny. Like that's
right.
That may have been a good move. I'm just saying I've given some franchises some a fair shake. Like I said, I've watched all the Jaws movies and they're not great. I've watched Chainsaws and I'm like, okay, maybe just the first one, the original, and the remakes. The remakes are okay, which is a different vein, I know. But yeah, like you can. I just accept the ones that actually were good. And like we said, that's a good point to bring up. That some of them are just of their time, and maybe they should just be celebrated for what they were and appreciated in that manner. I don't know.
Hold on.
That goes back.
Hold on, real quick. Speaking of things that suck, even though they shoot their shot.
Have you seen my wiener?
Casey is wrong.
Shoots his shot, but does he hit his shots? Oh, you actually let him in here. That's what I said, Casey.
Hey, Gayzilla.
Kill.
Don't whisper that noise in my ear ever
Please
again.
don't. Like, I just almost
I will
vomited.
come.
So I'm not sure. I don't know what that was, and I
day.
don't want to know what that was. But we're gonna leave that.
I did not consent. You keep that away from me.
He says founder of Casey is Raw Incorporated. You might want to start an LLC, pal. I have a feeling there's some sexual harassment stuff coming your way.
Yeah.
Let us know where we had to send the letters to.
You just violated my
PO
ear
box.
pussies.
Yeah.
Casey, what's up,
It's a
brother?
good thing you got another one if you want to move it over, and that one hasn't been violated yet.
Casey, what's up?
I just woke up from a nap. So, and then I see.
No way. Casey took a nap.
I had a
No
hard day
fucking way.
gaming and being a leech on society.
Oh, he's not a leash. He's more like a tick. You know?
Fucking bloodsucker.
They both suck.
Little leech.
I do suck, but it's not blood. It's
That's what all the boys say.
Oh, don't leave that open.
Careful,
Don't answer.
Casey,
Don't finish that
careful.
sentence.
Careful.
Careful what you say next.
You notice how he didn't turn his camera
AI is
on
a hell of a
tonight,
machine, sir.
Because that way, when we talk about something about sex, we won't be watching him stare screaming like this again.
so. How you guys doing?
Just
Oh, you
killing
nothing.
time,
You
man.
brought the show to a fucking halt. So go ahead. Say
No,
what you
well,
wanna say.
we were having an informed discussion, and then you woke up. Wait, who takes a fucking nap at 8:00 at night?
No shit.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Just go to bed.
Like, tell us you're a drain on society without telling us you're a drain on society.
Jesus
Seriously, Casey, you should have just went to fucking bed.
Christ.
Hold on, what's wrong? Taking a nap.
Motherfucker, naps
It
are
wasn't.
made for like
It wasn't
1
taking a
o'clock.
nap. It was the time in which you took your nap.
Yeah,
If
like,
you take a nap at
Right.
8:00, I'm just going to sleep.
Yeah, keep up, motherfucker.
Right, just go to bed. Just stay in bed. Why the hell not?
Like I was sitting on the couch just before dinner because I was coming on after here, and I'm falling asleep on the couch. I'm like, it's 6:30, and the wife's like, I thought you were gonna go join Frank. I'm like, I'm getting up, and I was like, I have to because it's 6:30, and I'm not going to have a nap or go to bed.
Well, to get this thing back on track, I want to touch on something that Dr. Nick brought up a few minutes ago about the whole time period thing. And of course, I know when you're watching a film, on certain things you have to suspend belief. So, like his Home Alone example, Kevin's parents would just voice call him on the cell phone and be like, "Hey, where the fuck you at, you little bastard? We're at the airport." And he's getting chased around by two guys in his house by this point, or whatever the fuck's going on. But
Well, no, his phone
Goonies,
died. You know, that's what they
Goonies
do nowadays.
is, well, why do you think so many horror films, even modern day, go back to the 80s? Because you don't have that technology problem.
Yeah.
You don't even have to. The only way to explain it is either the phone died or they don't exist. Otherwise, the whole plot is blown. So Goonies,
But they live on the sticks or something. No
Yeah.
service.
or they lost signal or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But Goonies, I firmly believe it it is a 80s movie. It belongs there. The charm of it, the look of it, the cast. I don't care if you got the cast of Stranger Things to come out and make Goonies 2 or Goonies 3 or whatever you end up calling Goonies the reboot. It's not going to have the same effect. Whereas something like a Top Gun Maverick, that's kind of an evergreen product. There's always military. There's always that's a different kind of thing. The technology is built into it, and it even plays in as a plot point in that movie with, oh, well, these new planes coming out, but the old guy's still good, right? Whatever. So I don't think we need a Goonies too. You know what I mean?
Don't say the cast of Stranger Things coming to do the Goonies because Finn Wolfhard's ears are burning right now. I swear to God,
They put that motherfucker in everything.
I know. I'm like, specifically anything from the 80s. I'm like, if that kid ever does something that's not 80s related, I'll fucking eat my hat. Like,
by the way, will somebody feed that motherfucker? He is like he's as skinny as a fence post. Somebody get him a fucking sandwich or a fucking hamburger. Jesus Christ. Kids he look like a damn crackhead. My Lord.
I'd like to add something on to just to build on what Tex said. I think we'll talk about 80s movies. There's a lot of movies they couldn't redo now. Like, I don't have a crotch goblin in school anymore, but like for some reason my brain went to like Breakfast Club. Like, do they even have detention? Jesus Christ.
God, Jesus Christ.
I'm just glad he's not in the bathtub.
Like,
dude,
he's like, oh God,
he's got a shirt on.
Let me put my pants on. Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
It was out of frame. We don't know.
Right?
Could you imagine them redoing Captain Ron with a guy takes a woman captive on his boat and makes him his wife? Like, how would that go over? You know what I mean? It would work. Yeah.
But I was just thinking about the 80s, like if you want to call like the icon movies that a lot of us think are about, like Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, like
16 Candles.
You can't do any of that shit with the bullying, and they couldn't talk to kids like maybe they do, but I mean you see the videos every once in a while. But I think do kids even get detention anymore? I don't know.
I don't know.
Right?
They just take away they just turn off their internet for 5 minutes on their
television.
Yeah.
They take TikTok away for 12 hours and watch them all go fucking But Casey, let me try to get your. Let's see if you can put together a coherent thought on this one. There's
Jesus.
And Gremlins are apparently getting some sequels that are being pushed through. They're not.
Does everybody else feel that screeching hole
in development? Casey, do you want to see one of these movies? Yes or no?
By Gremlins, we don't mean the members of your family.
Yeah.
I think we can.
I was gonna say the critter's living in his crotch, but all right.
No, I think we call that lice.
To have Gremlins 3 and Goonies 2, but obviously you're going to have a new crew of Goonies. But did you know there's actually a Goonies 2 on the NES?
Nobody asked you.
No.
Don't know that.
I didn't know there was a Goonies 1 for the NES, to be honest.
I didn't either. I didn't know they had a game.
That wouldn't surprise me, I guess.
I gotta go look. Hold on.
Because the 80s was really, really bad about having any side-scroller game about any popular movie.
Oh, yeah.
I remember playing.
Well, yeah, but like
it was a
E.T. was terrible. Indiana Jones was terrible, like the Atari. It's like it's not like it was good, but I mean, what are you gonna do?
Didn't they make McDonald's games on the NES too?
Oh yeah,
I feel like they did.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
They look.
Well, I was gonna say, remember there was
like Donkey Kong and Mario like had a love child, and it was called Goonies. It does. Like it's got like you're climbing ladders.
That sounds like a really weird porno.
Mice and fuck! Don't say porno. Look, you'll
All
see.
right, boys. I'll be back on. I'll be back on in about 10 or 15 minutes or so. Y'all hold it down. I'll be back.
All right.
Oh, there is a Goonies too. Son of a
look,
bitch,
as far as look, there are stories you can tell. There are ways you can modernize it, and it doesn't really matter if you have cell phone technology now on the internet. There's ways around all that shit. I had read a while back about before they made the last Rambo movie that one of the storylines that they were mulling around for that movie was that they called John Rambo in to help a modern day like Navy SEAL team do something in the jungle, and then while they're out there, all the technology fails for some reason or another, and they have to rely on Rambo and his like old school fucking super survivalist shit to get through as a way of focusing on the fact that modern military is so technologically dependent that a lot of them maybe don't have the survival skills that John Rambo had once taught. Now, it ended up being a totally different movie, of course. I ended up not going with that, but so yeah, there's ways to work it all in. Look, Jeremy says that what are the actors you've been doing right now? Well, Kai-Hu Kwan, yeah, he just won an Oscar, so he's doing all right.
He's doing good.
Loki, he's been in other stuff. He's got this new movie coming out that we're probably going to review that looks really good.
Yeah.
Sean Astin's always going to be around doing stuff. I mean, he's
in Stranger Things.
He's
Big
been
Bang
in
Theory.
Big Bang Theory. I just watched a couple episodes. He was in that. He's been in stuff. I mean, obviously, Lord of the Rings stuff. Yeah. It's not like he's not around, but let's not forget who played his big brother in that movie was Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin hasn't gone anywhere. He's been doing okay the last several years.
I guess.
I think he's doing okay. Yeah.
Having Josh Brolin on screen, and look, it's not like Corey Feldman. Look, he's still a star. He may not be the star.
I was going to say something about Corey. I was like, maybe we could pull him out.
He's a fucking gem.
When the two Coreys were all over the Teen Beat magazines.
Both, yeah, no Coreys.
But I mean, he's still there. I mean, there's stuff you could do. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can do this stuff. Again, it's all going to be story. If you have a good story, then shoot your shot. If you have something you think is going to be entertaining. Now, on the front of just the Goonies, here's one of the reasons why I'm curious about that one. I had said several times that we don't get action movie like epic action adventure movies like Indiana Jones anymore. Like even the last couple of Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah, we did. We got one like 2 years ago, didn't we?
Well, we don't get movies like that anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, not the originals now.
What's it? Uncharted with Tom Holland a while back was probably the closest to come. But even that movie didn't do very well. There's something about that genre that isn't as attractive as it once was. I mean, even same thing with westerns. We don't get a lot of westerns these days because the genre has kind of. A lot of people think it just kind of like ran its course. It's hard to.
I heard somebody say recently that we haven't gotten an actual full breed, 100%, not anything else added on top of a comedy movie in a long time. Is that true?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, how long has it been since we got something like The Hangover, which is probably the most risque thing that they've made in the last 20 years?
Yeah, I was just kind of going through my
or like
brain.
my favorite, like the 40-Year-Old Virgin, which was like 2004.
Yeah, especially going back to things like that, going even farther back to things like Porky's and Meatballs and all the crazy shit that we got in the 80s.
American Pie.
And like we talked about Airplane. You can't do shit like that anymore, like the spoof movies.
Like that
Mel Brooks, anything.
Oh, yeah.
He's still doing them, but I mean...
Not even worried about making them risky. This hasn't been any actual, just straight-up comedy movies. Rather if they're restrained or not.
No, I think it could do well. I think that again, it's all about story. If it's written well and you've got a great story that's going to endear people, I think it's going to help a lot. But
I think
that's a big ask from people in Hollywood now that write this shit. I'm like, I don't know if they have that kind of chops anymore. You know?
Well, you need someone to do like Trey Parkin or Matt Stone.
You know, you got to not be afraid to push the boundary.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be those two guys. I'm saying like them, who are going to make a movie that everyone's going to be like, holy shit, and be very unapologetic about it, and say what I would say. I won't say the number, but the highest number of the society is saying, cool, we'll go watch it. Or they're saying, I don't really give a shit, so I'm not going to watch it. Unlike the small minority of people, Casey, who have nothing to do better than sit on their ass in front of social media and be like, I don't like this. This is stupid. Like, that's the problem. That's what they worry about. They don't think
woke up from his nap. Fuck this movie.
Yeah. But if you think guys like us, if they made another like 40-Year-Old Virgin, like if Apatow, like, fuck that. I'm going to do something like that again. Every one of us guys our ages would be at that movie, like, all right, I have to go see this. If he's saying like, if you get the reviews like best thing since 40-Year-Old Virgin or like they say it's much like it, we'd all be in line to go see it.
I mean, I think one of the biggest things that was the funny. I mean, the reason why I watched Deadpool is because I'm like, Ryan Reynolds just makes that shit so funny and in your face. He doesn't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't.
So I'm like, that's not really comedy. I mean, it was like an action comic book movie, but like that type of comedy is what I'm saying. Like, you need more of that. Just in your face, and like we don't really care, but you know, you still laugh your ass off at that movie because I mean, honestly, that was some of the funniest bits of that movie. Not only just watching him and Wolverine fight like 2 or 3 times. Everybody get your special socks out.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
know.
that was great. Yes.
Get your special socks out, nerds. It's gonna get good.
What were you
Yeah.
saying, Casey?
What's the deal with this channel and about movies? You're too much movie centric. I mean, it's like you do a movie review channel or something like that. What the hell?
Well,
Wouldn't
we
that be
can't
wild?
all have homeless people that we pay to go see movies with.
So to build, I just kind of
Yeah.
brought up the 100 funniest movies of all time. So the top 10 are all from the 80s. It's all really quick. Just National Lampoon's Animal House, Caddyshack, Blazing Saddles, The Blues Brothers, Vacation, The Jerk, Stripes, Young Frankenstein, Ghostbusters. All solid, and number 10 is The Hangover, and that's the newest one, 2009. Followed by another super funny movie, no pun intended, Superbad at number 11.
Super bad. Nice.
So those are the top, like your top 9 movies are all from the 80s. Like 80s and 70s, I'm sorry. So nobody, got offended back then, I guess. Well, we didn't.
No, less, yeah.
They put Ghostbusters 2 at 14. That is ridiculous.
It shouldn't be 14 on anything. Jesus.
Oh.
That movie wasn't that great.
You want to know what? I love this because no one talks about this movie. UHF is 18. That's
Wow.
awesome. I love that.
We
movie.
reviewed that movie a while
Actually,
back.
I'm
It's a
like,
great movie.
we talked about it. Go check that out.
Yes, I did. I watched that one. I loved it. But
Ah.
yeah, like just look at the top 10. And that just says what all you need. Yeah, we need a movie. We need another movie like The Jerk. Not The Jerk, but like The Jerk. And
See,
not
I think
Bad
the problem
Jerk.
is
Not Bad Jerk.
I think the problem is not that people can't be risky these days, that people will get offended, is that that's always in the person's mind. Because back then they just was trying to be funny. They wasn't trying to be, push the envelope or say the most crazy shit. They was just trying to be funny. But now they've tried to be funny, but at the same time, even if they don't, because that's a trap in itself, they'll think, oh, I can't say that because that's risque. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it anyway, and I'm going to do it worse just to offend people, and then they make it bad instead of making it funny.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We need more people that have the fuck it attitude and just do it. Like, that's kind of like inherently what comedy is. And I'm like, the thing is, a lot of it's born out of like, you take something that like you think maybe you shouldn't laugh at, but I'm like, if everyone kind of gets, if everyone's all on the same page about like, that is kind of a funny thing when you think about it. Like, I don't know where I was going with that, but maybe into the South Tower. But never forget, remember? Never forget, guys. See what I mean?
Funny
And then you all just laugh.
regardless.
Yeah.
Something's always funny.
We said the other day, we're like, are we ever gonna have a time where we stop making 9/11 jokes on us? And I just turned and said no, because we said we'll never forget.
Maybe in 911 years.
Maybe.
We lost Casey. We lost Casey.
Yeah, say, did he? I'm
Took a
tired
nap
of getting
again.
ripped on by these guys. I'm going back.
I'm
to bed.
pretty tired. I'm gonna go to bed.
Maybe
I
because
spent
somebody
a whole
said 9/11,
20
he wanted
minutes
to go
sitting
check
up.
the scale.
He's like, I'm gonna go.
That is kind of.
download this
If
movie
you want a
to
conspiracy
start
there, I mean, we said 9/11 and Casey just dipped out, so I don't know. Maybe look into that.
Hmm.
He was
You know
alive
what?
during
I
that
think
time.
you're
He
right.
could've
He was
He
the
could have
Twin
stopped it, and he
Tower.
didn't.
You shipped her on to me.
Gotta go.
Blast.
I gotta ask. I missed the beginning of the show. Did we talk about the NFL yet?
No, that was actually the next topic.
Okay. Because I saw the picture, I'm like, "Ooh, I need to get onto this." But
Yeah, I'm gonna keep
Like-
swerving in and out. I'm gonna dip out on the football again. So, whenever
should
you want to do that,
should we wait for Tex though? Because I'm sure he's gonna have.
maybe you might want.
Maybe I don't know. Let me
fuck that
see
guy.
Another quick thing is happening right now. Let's see.
We brought him in. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Right.
It's kind of concerning that so many of, the America's favorite sports are men playing with balls and touching each other.
See, Alex gets it. That's what I keep saying.
I mean, that pretty much describes every popular sport in, the US.
Yeah,
And what do you know,
that's pretty much-
soccer, the one where they don't touch each other, it's not popular.
Yeah, but large muscular guys
that's a
tackle
foot
other
fetish.
guys as hard as they can. For some people, it's sexy. For some people, it's just fun to watch.
Well,
I mean-
after this weekend, it's getting less and less fun to watch.
Yeah, really.
It honestly
That's what I
is.
keep hearing.
And I will say this right now. I do like me some good footy. I like me some fucking World Cup soccer. but I will say this right now. It is hard to watch with the flopping that goes on. I would rather watch women's soccer because they don't flop all over the place. I've never seen more grown men laying on the ground, writhing in pain, dying than in soccer. It is absolutely.
So you must be never been in my bedroom.
Well, if that's an invite, I guess I'm on my way to
got
wherever
him.
Alex is.
Well, you know what I
No.
always say? I always say soccer is a sport for girls and boys who can't play baseball.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just-
see, it's like,
And what
I
is,
mean, like,
and what is
maybe-
baseball? Baseball is for boys who can't play football.
no.
No.
Can you hit a curveball?
I didn't say that.
Actually,
Hey,
I played ball last night there, Frank. We had an overnight indoor tournament. I played it until 5:30 this morning.
Dude, the last time I tried to play an all-nighter, dude, I was dead for 3 days afterwards.
No, it was good.
That was,
I do. That's why I'm so tired. Because my son doesn't drink, and he got so liquored up he couldn't play the last game.
I saw that picture you put on Facebook.
He gets in the truck, and he's like, and there's some girls. There's like, Dad, these girls are like that. I'm like, go to sleep. He's like, okay, Dad. He's like, puts his head down. About 5 minutes later, we're not even out of the city. He's like, Dad, those girls are. I'm like, Colin, go to sleep. Okay, Dad. And out all the way home. That's my boy. They ordered 5 jugs of draft at last call at 2:00.
Damn.
Yeah, and they
Whew.
wonder why they're all sick.
The last all-nighter I played, we didn't even drink, and we first pitch we made it to the last game. First pitch was at 2:30 in the morning, and I was like, I could barely lift my bat at the plate. I was so tired.
We wrapped up. We finished dead last because everybody was, except for me, it was completely shit faced. And yeah, we got off the turf at 5:00 this morning.
Fuck that.
God, that's
Yeah.
awful. I remember I had 2 at bats that last game, and both of them were just kind of like ground balls to short because I couldn't drive
Couldn't
the ball. I
even-
was just
yeah,
so
couldn't
tired.
I'm
I was not used to doing that shit that late at all.
Did you know that I actually played baseball for 11 years?
So you had an 11-year Sega career for a player that you created? Is that what you're saying?
I'm being serious. I actually played baseball for 11 years.
Oh.
And my last year, I dislocated my kneecap.
Oh,
It must have been a heavy water bottle you carried.
Well, honestly, like I think we all played ball when we were kids. They don't I think everyone here, well, except for Alex, he played balls, but did we all play
Basketball is the thing over here. We don't do baseball.
basketball? So like it'd be out, Casey. It's actually not shocking. Like you figure, because I'll just
hold
Casey,
on.
How
Are
old
you-
are you? How old are you?
I'm 42.
Yeah, so so as a kid, right? So probably from what, 6 till 17, 18?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, so
From
that's kind of normal. Like everybody,
Yeah.
that's actually good. I mean, I think that's lost for a lot of children that don't play sports anymore. And leagues are actually suffering because, especially like up here, because everybody gets so focused on hockey, kids don't play anything else anymore. Like baseball has suffered. Lacrosse is really catching on up here.
A lot of it's regional, and on top of that, like I know Little League here in the United States, they're seeing their numbers drop a lot.
How is it expensive though? Like hockey up here, baseball's affordable, but hockey is ridiculously expensive.
Hockey is ridiculous. So's
I can see
lacrosse.
that,
I
though,
found out the
yeah.
other day.
Yep.
I was looking at lacrosse. I was like, Jesus Christ! It costs how much to get all that fucking gear?
Yeah, that's what
It's like,
I'm
I
wow.
was gonna say all that gear costs a lot of money.
Yeah, no shit.
Because I know how
and
much
then-
I paid to play baseball. It was like $120 for a new
Yeah.
glove if I wanted one, and maybe a good pair of cleats was like $60, and that was pretty much it. Our uniforms were pretty much covered by the teams, and that was all we paid. Football isn't even really that expensive. You generally don't buy your own pads, which can be
No.
pricey. The school will have those. You might have to buy your own helmet every now and again, which is kind of pricey, but for the most part, that's covered too. So you just pay for like maybe a jersey and some shirts and some your cleats. That's about it.
Everything for
Yeah,
my
hockey?
son was covered, except for with cleats. And we bought him a better mouth guard. They gave it, like, that is the great thing about minor football here. They give everything, including mouth guards. They're just not very good mouth guards. So my son was an offensive lineman, so we wanted to make sure that he had something good to protect his girl, right? But yeah, and then gloves, like your gloves. But yeah, other than the helmets, jerseys, everything was provided, even socks through the team.
Hold on. Did you guys ever had hand-me-down like mouth guards or cups? Like I got my hand-me-downs from my older brother.
Did it taste like penis?
No, I mean
Now,
I didn't.
do you guys remember the Little Giants?
I think I used that movie
The
once.
part with when Rick Moranis walks in and all the gear, and he's like, "Okay, here's the gear, guys." They start going. The little dorky kid with the glasses puts the jock on his face, and Rick Moranis goes, "Okay, so some of this is used." No, time out, Casey.
What?
Tell me your trailer park without telling me your trailer park. And I grew up in a trailer park, and I was the older brother. But I would have never, my sisters, but I never would have handed me down the mouth guards. My sisters played sports. Like your bite is different.
Yeah, like wouldn't
I
it be
guess when you
different?
don't have teeth or something. God damn, Casey.
I got teeth. I'm not like Bullfrog where I
Holy
don't have no teeth.
shnikes.
Hey, we do not mention that name on this channel anymore. We don't have to.
But yeah, no, Case, like maybe a jersey, like a practice jersey, or like a baseball, like a batting helmet.
Hold on.
You guys have hold the case real quick. I'll be right back.
Hold on. You're acting like, I don't
Top
put
spot,
the
man.
mouth guard in the dishwasher.
But that's not even what I'm saying, Casey. Like
No, I was saying, don't you form it to your mouth so the teeth would be different? Yeah.
Thank you, Jeremy. Because you have to
like, that's the
boil
next-
it and put it in your mouth to get. So like it's already set to your brother's teeth.
Yeah, it'd be different.
Yeah, so like, and okay, I guess at the end of the day, a jock, you could wash the shit out of it, but at the end of the day, it's still like, I have two jocks that I use because I play ball twice a week, so like I do wash my own, but like, yeah, I don't. Jocks, I guess, can be kind of like all right.
That one you can maybe get around, but
yeah, because you get like.
I was still stuck on the fact that you have to form a mouth guard to your teeth.
Yeah.
So hold on. Are you saying that you can't bite harder to form your own teeth?
No, but I'm saying there's already an indent, and then you're putting your indents on top of that, and it would kind of just be pointless. It won't.
Yeah. It's not going to work because it's kind of like if you get hand-me-down shoes with the insoles in them, that no matter what, they're already to your brother's feet.
Hold on. Are you saying you're better than me because you had some new shoes and I had some hand-me-down shoes?
Well, I was saying no, that a mouth guard's not that fucking expensive.
Number one, I was better than you without saying all that. Number two,
first of all,
I was fortunate that I was the big brother, so I didn't have any other.
Your first dibs.
So I kind of, and really, sports were like all those bats back there are expensive as fuck. But my dad would have never bought me those expensive bats, right? I would have got, and really, when we were kids, the team had bats. We didn't have to bring a bat.
Is that your collection of baseball bats? Do you collect bats?
No, I use them because I play a lot of baseball.
Yeah, do you use those belts back there, Casey? I don't think you do.
Yeah.
Did you buy those too?
Because I've already challenged you.
There.
And you.
Right there.
Everybody knows that those belts are all mine, and you should be sending them to me.
Casey said, I'll come from the top rope. We said, bet, bitch, I'll swing on you. Boom.
Yeah.
Corner pocket.
Yeah, no, I used them all. And actually, and to be fair, 2 of them are my sons and 2 of them are my wives because we all play ball together.
Let me ask you another question. When's the last time you used that exercise bike in the corner? I'm just curious.
Are you really asking
last
him that?
week?
What's that, Casey? What was the exercise?
Last week?
Too busy napping.
I have a thing called the gym membership, and I go to the gym about 4 or 5 times a week. And then my rest day, when I'm not supposed to be doing anything, I actually jump on that. And usually, because I have a thing to watch videos, I usually go on there for about a half an hour and ride the bike and watch videos. So you don't follow me on Facebook, Casey. I was over 400 pounds at one time. I'm now under 300.
Nice.
So no.
I was just kidding with that.
Yeah. Oh no, don't worry. But I'm just gonna throw it in your face because I'm the world champion of the world and send me my belts.
Oh, that ain't happening. But I do got another question for Dr. Nick. Are you a little upset with Frank because one, he's wearing that stupid top hat, and he's flying the American flag in the background. Like I think he's trying to say that America is better than Canada. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Well, I'm hoping to become the 51st state.
I
So
was gonna say, aren't they just gonna be our next
get me
state?
a
So, I
hat.
mean,
Us in
Alright.
Greenland, or where we plan on becoming part
we're
of the
pinning an extra star to this bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Think of all the maple syrup you guys would have then. It's
Where
great.
would they
yeah.
put the star at? I mean, it's evenly spaced.
We'll make room.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
No.
It doesn't
You
bother me.
know what it's gonna be? It's gonna be a bunch of stars and then one little maple leaf, a little red leaf right there.
I'm
next to
okay.
the star.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
I was on a long haul trucker for about 3 years, and I remember going down in the States, and I loved it. And that's funny. You hear about all Americans are assholes. I never ever had a bad experience with an American. Everybody that I ever met was very respectful. It was a little different, yeah. You know, when you go to Texas and this guy's got a 45 Magnum hanging off the side of his hip, that's a little different.
Yeah, that's
You know what I always
Texas is
found
like
so
another
weird
world.
about Americans? What I found
Texas
so
is-
weird about Americans is because I'll hear tourists speak in real life, right? When I'm out downtown or whatever, and they sound completely different. Like they genuinely sound like they're from a different country. But when I watch TV or I'm on podcasts like this, to me, y'all sound like Bahamians without all of the words. But yeah, when I hear an American speak in the real world, like their accent is a lot slower. The sound of their voice sounds completely different. It always has been so weird to me. I never really understood it.
Well, we also have different accents just in different parts of the country too.
Mhm.
Like that's like if you listen to Tex speak as opposed to like me, it's like it's a little different. Like I said, Nick is obviously like the ultra like Super Saiyan of like my accent because he's in Canada. That's like the like Midwest of Midwest. He says it with more accentuation than I do. I just have it here and there. I'm just saying it's you talk about Midwest as opposed to like Texas or like Southern California. I know I don't have too many boots, but I mean some don't you knows and some oops.
The big
Let me
one
get past
is
you there.
the big
you
one
know.
is for the Americans or the accents, except for like the Oklahoma stuff, is when you get out to like Maine and stuff and Boston, the Boston accent. Boston, Chicago's
like is the people I played with in my my gaming crew, like we have a guy who is like he lives in Boston, like in Massachusetts, and like he's talking. I'm like, he started talking about khakis. I'm like, are you talking about pants or your car keys, dude?
Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
the khakis.
My khakis.
He's like, I just goddamn hackers in this game. I'm like, yeah, no, that's for real. It's funny the number of accents of people you run to. Just just in this one country. It's weird.
If you guys want to hear something crazy, just to hear an accent, a Canadian accent, go look up some Newfoundlanders.
Oh,
do you think Maine people have an accent? You listen to a couple Newfies start talking to one another. They sound like pikeys. They sound like pikeys from Snatch. What the fuck?
What about people from
house?
What about people from Louisiana?
Oh my God, we're missing a fuck of a football game.
Louisiana, yeah.
That Cajun accent. Nolans.
That's the French.
You mean basically Gambit from Deadpool? If we'll circle back to that.
I actually speak fluent Cajun. If you want to know the truth, I'm so close to it. It's kind of like a similar tongue to mine, so I get it. So I'm not that far from it. I'm good.
So
I feel like if gasoline was a person, it would sound like Tex.
Yeah, I'm glad Nick reminded me of UHF. I just downloaded a new clip we can use.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Alex is gonna be pissed that you put that out because he'd be like, "Oh, that'd have been great to you stupid people."
Well, Alex, I am fully, and I'm putting this out into the world. I expect my head on Bruce Willis's body with a "I hate blank" sign on y'all's show Monday. I expect to see that.
I'm already working on an image.
Maybe he probably already is.
I've actually got what I did was I haven't finished it quite yet, but the backdrop is AT&T Stadium in Dallas, and it's John McClane sitting up there with a blank sandwich board I gotta get a picture of Texas head to put on it, and I
Hey,
can also find as needed.
if it's good enough, that will be. I'm willing to make that my profile picture. So put the effort in, boys. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, it's all good. So
Yeah, Buffalo is about to win. 40.
yeah, as you say, we've got 27-25 Buffalo over Baltimore, but it doesn't matter because Kansas City's gonna tongue kiss the referees and win either way.
Here we go. Okay,
really matter?
This is why I'm here.
Hey, there's your segue into football for you. That was the pass.
Yeah, this is
Alex. Yeah, I mean, Nick wanted to wait until you got back before we got into this one. Let's
I'm
get
here.
into it.
We'll tag Tex in and we'll tag you out.
There we go. There we go. I'm in.
There
we go.
Pretty obvious. NFL refs.
Nut cupping.
This, according to Fox News, NFL under fire over questionable calls in Chiefs playoffs win over Texas.
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs AFC divisional round win over the Houston Texans on Saturday night came under scrutiny over questionable calls throughout the game. From ESPN broadcaster Troy Aikman to Texans players after the game to social media, officials were getting lit up from all angles. There were 2 penalties called on the Texans that drew ire. Houston edge rusher Will Anderson Jr. was called for roughing the passer on a 3rd down in the first quarter. Anderson appeared to push Mahomes in the chest after he had thrown the ball incomplete to tight end Travis Kelce. Anderson was flagged for the play. The second penalty came during a Mahomes scramble in the 3rd quarter. He had 2 blockers on a run and 3 defenders bearing down on him. He moved to his right and then back to his left when he decided to slide. Texas linebacker Henry, God, I always screw this guy's name up, Tuoto hit Mahomes around the neck as he slid. Despite the bang-bang nature of the play, Tuoto was called for unnecessary roughness. The first penalty extended the drive, but ended with a field goal for the Chiefs. The second penalty pushed Kansas City up the field, and the drive ended with a touchdown. The Chiefs would win the game by 9 points, 23-14. Yeah, a lot was said about these very terrible calls. Let me go to you first, Tex. You're gonna bitch. I'm gonna bitch. I'm feeling Nick's gonna bitch a little. Casey's gonna make the noises.
Loud noises.
Fucking Jeremy's probably taking his pee break right now, and Alex is gonna say funny things when it's his chance. So I mean, let's start with you, Tex. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now, number one, the one thing that you didn't mention was the Kansas City offensive line holding the Texans defense like a prom date on every single play. Every time a play would snap, there was a couple times where I just paused my television randomly, and they're literally holding on to them as if they're a 3-year-old child and their dad just got home. That happened at least 10 times that I saw.
I wish my father held me at night.
The call that you're talking about in the 3rd quarter where Mahomes got hit in the neck, no, go back and watch that. There's 2 Houston Texans. They're coming in on Mahomes at the same time. The 2 Houston players hit each other. They don't even hit Mahomes, and then they toss the flag, and then it ends up getting them the touchdown. It's so blatantly obvious that they want Kansas City to win this thing. I mean, it's no secret. Mahomes got caught earlier in the season on a live mic with the ref saying, "Won't you warn me next time when they're that close?" The NFL's not even trying to hide it anymore. They want their three-peat. They want their dynasty team. It's clear. They had the Niners and Cowboys in the 90s, Patriots in the 2000s. Now they've got the Chiefs. The NFL builds on this. You've got the Taylor Swift thing, just so much. Like, I could spend hours on this, but if you can't see it, you're blind or delusional. Pick one. I don't care, but it's so stupid.
Yeah, I don't. It's any observant fan knows that this shit just doesn't look right at all. I don't know, Nick. Give me. I know you've been chomping at the bit to talk about this as well. Give me some of your thoughts.
Okay, so exactly, I'm on with what Tex said. Both those. The biggest one. What was bugging me at first was the replays I was seeing about the first hit. Was they wouldn't show the angle from which we watch the game normally, right? Like the hard camera, if you will, wrestling term there for you, Casey. The hard camera, they weren't showing that video anymore. It was video from the left side and from the back. But when of course, because everybody saved the video, when you watch the video, you can see now again, it's real time, right? I understand that, but I'm gonna go to I'm just gonna skip this to the next, the Detroit game. Where Jared Goff got fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
After that interception.
And that guy took a full 2 steps before
Yes.
he got hit too,
Yeah.
Nothing.
and led with
Nothing
his
was
helmet.
broken. Nothing.
Yeah.
And then there was also it was the Guardians game. Was it the Guardians game? The Guardians. God, I know those.
The Commanders?
Thank you. He got pushed. He was out of bounds,
Guardian.
and he got again pushed. Like, and I'm like, okay, that was maybe a little excessive. You probably shouldn't have done it. But there was no flag. 100%. If that had happened to Patrick Mahomes, there would have been a flag. And
If you even breathe in his general direction, they're getting the flag, though.
I wrote this
Come
down.
on.
When he got put like this because this is the Euro soccer bullshit. He got pushed out of bounds. Mahomes. He did the fucking LeBron James sell. He threw his they showed the replay, and then you hear Aikman saying, "Oh, he's trying to get the flag." When you have the commentators are finally saying like, "Okay, this is ridiculous," that says a lot because that's going against the script. And I always said I hated being that guy that said, "Oh, come on, it's not rigged." But it's getting to that point where it's like you can't ignore it anymore. You can't. It's that fucking blatant. And really, this is, I think, the problem with the amount of betting that happens now. Because there's too much on the line. Vegas makes too much money on betting. And they got to make sure they keep making their money. So I have a hard problem watching football now. And it's all sports, though, really. It's all sports. It's the officiating all the way to like the ump calls, which have gotten a little better because you can argue the calls now. But like with hockey, we added another referee to it because it was supposed to cut down on the penalties, and kind of stop the bullshit that goes on. It doesn't. So I'm hard pressed to watch. God, I want Buffalo to win. God, but it's just blatant and disgusting, and it's not going to stop. Don't think it's a money machine now. It's not going to stop. People don't care about teams as much as they used to. More people care about the fantasy football teams now.
Their fantasy stats. Yeah.
I thought you said they care about their fat. I was like, what?
The fans? No, they don't give it.
No, they're fat.
No, nobody cares about you being fat, Casey.
So
That's a fact we all accepted a long time ago, Casey. We're fine with it now. You're good.
what? Yeah. That being said, it's not going to change. We've had these dynasty teams and whatnot, but yeah, it's not going to change. But it's gosh, I think it was a little more hid. Like there were ones with the Patriots that were like obvious. It was like the biggest one, of course, being the tuck rule, which we had never heard of until that fateful night, when they played the Raiders, and all of a sudden the tuck was a rule. But it's every sport. It's not going to change. So my rant is done.
I thought the tuck rule was what Casey did before leaving the house.
That's what he does before dancing in front of his camera while he's playing.
See,
video
I
games.
set him up. Alex just spiked it.
Case didn't have to tuck. The gut just kind of hides it. You don't even see it when he takes his pants off. It's like a Peter Griffin thing. He's fine. He doesn't need a black bar.
It's like a turtle's head. It just hides in there. Do not take your penis out. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Casey,
What did y'all think? What did y'all think of the movie? What did y'all think of the movie Norbit?
Okay, now
And he wonders why he doesn't get invited.
That was a lot of.
He wonders why he doesn't get invited. Well, this is why, Casey.
Yeah.
You show your penis.
I had the cursor hovering over the remove button right there.
So take a breath, Casey. Get your wind back. Now you stood up really quick there.
I don't know, Casey. I know that all you know about sports is what you just heard us say, but I mean, give me some of your quick thoughts. I mean, you're in Oklahoma. They don't really have any sports teams there, so
Go Sooners! Boomer Sooner!
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Oklahoma is more of a college state, anyways. But I mean, every decade seemed to have their dynasty. I mean, that's what it seems like, I guess, and that's Kansas City's time, But I didn't watch most of the games. I watched last night's game when I was on my channel doing Saturday is Raw podcast. You can
Hey,
catch
stop
on
the
Saturday.
shameless plug, you twat. I got you, Frank.
But that was a good game. And if I knew how close that game was, this one was, I watched it because there was only 2 points separating it. But last night, oh my god, I wanted the Lions to beat the Commanders, but the Lions
Same old
just choked.
line, nothing new.
The Lions just choked. Especially the quarterback threw 4 interceptions and had a fumble in the beginning of the
That's
game.
the second time in like 4 games, and he's had 5 turnovers all on his own.
So it was like, I'm like, I mean, I was rooting for the Lions, but
Oh,
they really fucked themselves in that game. I mean, it's why known that if you had too many turnovers, you're gonna lose. I'm like, I mean, even one of those turnovers ended up being a touchdown. So I mean, they fucked themselves in that one. I wanted to see the Lions make it, but I do think Kansas City's going to go all the way this year. So
I hope they go all the way to hell myself. But real quick, I'll
I'm down
touch on
with
this,
that.
and then Jeremy's got something he wants to do real quick. But I understand that the NFL needs to market itself. What I don't understand is, why do you have to do it at the expense of 31 of how many teams are there? 31, 32 teams in the NFL?
32.
Why do you have to do it at
32.
the expense of your other 31 teams? I just don't get it. I mean, look, you've already got a huge windfall by having Taylor Swift dating 900-year-old at the end of his rope, Travis Kelce. You got lucky on that one. Why do you have to also make these calls so blatantly bad? Look, I try to take it easy on officials because I know that it's not always easy. I've umpired games myself, and it's sometimes you only got one point of view. It happens really fast. You have to make a decision right there in the moment. You never always know if it's right or wrong. You just try to make the best judgment you can make. So I try to give them a lot of leeway. But in football, especially talking about this particular game, you have the luxury of instant replay. You have the luxury of being able to go and look and making sure you're making the right call. And I understand you're not always going to get them all right. Your success rate isn't going to be 100% no matter what you do. But you can't just be like, oh, well, we're going to let this one kind of fall in a way that's going to help the NFL and make it really obvious. Look, like I said, sometimes officials miss stuff. Sometimes they are so blatantly bad that I have to look at the officials and wonder, are you retarded? Are you blind? Do you have astigmatism and you can't see? I mean, what about that literally millions of other people who are watching at the same time, what is wrong with you that you're not catching what all these people are catching, and you're the one who's supposed to catch it? You're the one who's supposed to be right on it. How are you getting it so wrong when literally everybody else can watch from the stands from fucking how many hundreds of feet away? From up in the rafters and can see clearly. Look, I went to the Niners Browns game in Cleveland last season, and there were some calls that from my not so great seats, I could see pretty fucking clearly that they got wrong. That was a very terribly officiated game in both directions. It didn't benefit one team or the other. It was just bad officiating. And sometimes it really is just clear that they're bad calls. And you can't help but notice that they do happen in Chiefs games against the Chiefs' opponents. I'm not saying there's a causality, but there's certainly a correlation. And it's really odd that it always happens. I mean, maybe not. I mean, if you guys ever watch Tom Grossi on YouTube, when he's got the scriptwriter series that he does every week, he reacts to NFL games. It's like he'll say shit like he'll play characters for each team, and like the Chiefs character he plays is always like, oh yeah, I'm gonna Venmo you the money for this game so we can get all the calls. It's like even he's like endlessly making fun of it, and it's like, dude, literally everybody is seeing that something here is not right, except for the people who need to see it and fix it, and that's the NFL. I just don't understand. And again, we were talking about earlier. This is not a problem that's just with football. This has been bad over all professional sports for a long time now, and it's not looking like it's going to get better anytime soon. And it really makes the game less fun for the fans. I got to be honest. I keep putting off buying NFL Sunday Ticket or whatever the hell the package is. I want to get it because Jennifer's
Red Zone or whatever it is.
Jennifer's a Houston fan. She wants to watch the Texans. I'm a Niner fan. I want to watch the Niners. So, I mean, it makes sense that we would get it. But I can't justify spending the money on it if I know I'm just going to watch. If I'm going to spend all the money in this game to watch, the calls are going to be terrible. And it's going to ruin my experience as a viewer. Why pay for it? Why pay for you ruining my experience?
Well,
I don't understand.
Can I add something before we go to Jeremy's thing here? I just quickly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to make it quick. There's 7 officials on the field. I just looked. There's 7 referees on a field. So that's where I'm losing that we didn't see it or we didn't call. You're just blatantly not calling it. Number 2, of all the cities in the world, you want to market yourself. What? Like I realize that's where Patrick Mahomes got drafted. If the NFL is really a cabal of evil and they want all this shit to happen, why the fuck wouldn't you put like Patrick in like maybe they didn't know what he was gonna be, but why wouldn't he be in like New York or LA, one of the big markets? And then just the last little bit to add to this, the NFL this year at Christmas, the ratings were up 23%. They were in did an 11-1 rating and with 28.68 million viewers compared to the NBA that was 5.2. The NFL is doing fine. You'd probably be doing a little better if you weren't pushing your fans away by doing what you're doing.
I got to be honest, though, a lot of that viewership increase, I'm going to sound like the old man here. A lot of Swifties are tuning in NFL games now.
I understand that. I understand that. But I mean, like,
now there would probably still be a slight increase, a marked increase. It wouldn't be terrible to report. But I'm willing to bet, because I think they said something like all the Swifties are now, they're going out and buying like Chiefs and mostly Travis Kelce stuff in droves.
Yeah.
Just because she's associated with it. All these girls who are buying Travis Kelce jerseys don't know shit about football. They couldn't tell you the difference between pass interference
last
and
season
in baseball. They don't know.
Travis Kelce jersey sales went up over 400% just because of that Taylor Swift crowd. And that's literally all that it was. And they just bought it because, Taylor's boyfriend wears this jersey. The second those two contract breaks up for this relationship and they're done, they're never going to wear those things again. And the numbers are going to go back to what they were before. I mean, it's a artificial increase in the, viewership. It's not going to last.
Well, they'll burn them. They'll burn the jerseys.
Can I bring one thing up to talk about?
As long as it's not your penis.
What Frank was talking about the referees. You remember how bad those replacement referees were during the referee strikes, right? So that was way worse than what's going on today.
Well, refereeing period has been bad for a long time. Whether you're talking about when the officials went on strike or not, it's been bad for a while. Because
here's another problem:
calls that have been made have been by the regular referees, not the replacement.
When it comes to the refs, though, if any football fan, I'm sure all of us know this, but well enough by now. But these crews travel together, so like they call games together all year long. So you'll be watching a pregame show, and Joe Buck or Troy Aikman or whoever's calling the game, be like, yeah, this referee crew likes to call a lot of pass interferences and roughing the passer, whatever it is. So it has gotten so cliche now that even the commentators are like, yeah, these guys like to call a lot of roughing. These guys will let them play out, let them do their thing. So they have reputations now. If the NFL was fair and true in a way to look better, they would break these teams up, and each crew is random every week. You don't go with the same group of guys where you can build up a repertoire of, okay, we get Cowboy games every week and we don't like them, so we're going to do this. Or we get Chiefs games and we want them to win, so we're going to help them out and don't let them touch Mahomes and whatever. That would be, if they wanted to dispel rumors of a conspiracy, that's the easiest way to do it right there. But they're not going to do that. Too much money in it for them, just like everybody said.
Yeah, but they have enough money to fly all these referees around. It's not like, hey, we're barely making any money.
Out of all the problems that NFL has, money's not one of them. That's never going to be an issue. They get all the money that they need from the top down to the bottom.
$1 billion a year industry, and that's not just income, that's profit.
I know people that work at AT&T Stadium serving food. They're doing fine. I promise you, they're not hurting for money. So what Frank was talking about earlier, how all of these calls happen to fall on the Chiefs' side. Just like I said earlier, when Mahomes was caught on a live mic saying, warn me next time when they're that close. That's the kind of stuff that inspires this talk. Because you might can defend, okay, well, maybe they give the Chiefs a call every now and then. But whenever the star quarterback of the team is caught saying these things, you can't defend against that. There's no way to fight that. They're flat out telling you, here's what we're doing. But, it's all rigged. I think it's as fake as wrestling is, to be real honest with you. But
Do you know who the most upset man in America is right now?
the gambler?
Mark Andrews for dropping that 2-point conversion at the end of the game.
Oh,
I didn't see it. I just saw it pop up, and it was like, you couldn't have been more open and just drop the ball. Oh, I wonder what hole he's climbed into right now. Good Lord.
Right.
So, all right, are we bringing Jeremy back now?
Yeah, I don't know. Alex, I know that you probably aren't very interested, but I mean, do you have any thoughts on what we've been saying about these bad calls?
I don't know. I will say though, after a lot of consideration, I decided I would actually eat Taylor Swift's booty. I mean,
There isn't a
Well,
booty there.
she's nice enough. Listen,
now,
the small
what
ones are
if
the best ones,
What if Taylor's a boy though? Because I also have that conspiracy in my head as well. I can tell you that on a later date. But
Okay, that's a new one.
I mean,
yeah,
What do you think? Fertilizing the growth on Kelsey's upper lip.
See, hold on.
See, Frank's got it. Frank knows where I'm going with it.
By the way, this is coming from a guy who thinks politicians are reptilians. Like, if you pull their
Is the flat earther speaking right now? Really? You really want to go there? See, I say the reptilian thing as a joke. You live the flat earther thing, so don't go throwing stones there, my friend. That's not gonna go well. So just saying.
Let's move on to something that we've been wanting to put online here for quite some time now. We're going to bring Jeremy back in now that we're done talking about sports ball. But
we're about to watch him die.
No, he's not going to die. We're just going to watch him, maybe possibly a hypothermia, maybe a touch of a frostbite. We're going to see. But Jeremy, chime in if you're listening. I want to make sure that you're in place. There you go.
Tune in Tokyo.
All right, Jeremy.
Maybe not.
You gonna do the barefoot beer run live for us?
Yeah. Well, it's always live, to be fair. So if we're keeping segues going from football, here's your halftime show. Before the final quarter, we talk about something completely different. That's the best I got. So
can we see if you're really barefoot? Maybe you're.
You want that for free, Casey? You want that for free?
You want that, Casey? You got to go on his OnlyFans account.
I was just going to say
you got to pay extra for that. All right, you get one free. Okay, look. So go ahead.
We don't need to see his Hobbit.
Okay. Okay.
That's all you get for confirmation. All right.
No, I'm the accused cheater here, so I'm just making sure that you're not cheating.
You're the admitted cheater. Don't even lie.
This is real as it gets. So for anyone who doesn't
understand, Casey, he takes this very seriously. The integrity of the barefoot beer run is not going to be defiled by Jeremy above all people.
Yeah. So for anyone who does not know, this spawned as just a really dumb idea from another fellow YouTuber of ours, Brooding Gamer. We've seen him, heard him on the show before. I'm sure his stuff's down there in the description. Shout out to Gamer. Also, because particularly he's had a pretty rough time. I won't go into it, but I was going to dedicate this one to him. And since he was the one who actually started this in the first place, and if no one knows, it's real simple. I'm doing it a little differently this time. I don't have beer, but I made a mixed drink of Gentleman Jack, Di Serono, and a little bit of grenadine just for that extra, touch. But how it works is he forgot his beer in the car one day when he came over and it had snowed, and he already took his shoes off, and he was like, screw that. I'm too lazy to put that back on. I'm going to run out there and go get my beer in the car. And I was like, I'm going to film you doing that because that's hilarious. And then it became a yearly tradition. Now, the problem is that we haven't had a whole lot of snow here, and if we have, it's been in the next calendar year, so it's always offset. But we got pretty well dumped on with snow, so finally this is able to happen. And like I said, I was going to dedicate this one to its original founder and to my stupid ass because I keep doing it. So I'm going to take, oh my God, that's good, a lap around the yard. And you know what? I've got Batman on today, and I'm going to be a real Midwesterner. You saw me, I got shorts. There's a tactical reason for it, and that's just for you. So here we go.
Why did you say that name? Sorry.
Oh, that's cold. We good?
No shit.
Oh, we were on the Wi-Fi.
Oh no!
Wait, hold on. This is where.
Oh, we're back. We're back. We're back. Okay, we're back. Slip and fall.
Hear
Come
the
on.
crunchiness.
Face first. Face first. Come on. Face plant.
Oh,
Face
don't freeze it
plant.
up on us now, damn it.
Casey,
It's a big yard.
why did you? Did he steal your internet for that? Oh,
You know
Oh,
what?
I don't know. Did something happen?
No.
It froze
Yeah.
up a little bit, so we only really caught part of the road.
I mean,
you know what
the
that
internet
means?
is on. The internet's on
You
that
have-
side of the house. That may have been what happened.
You know,
but
you have
I'm
to
still
do-
blaming Casey for this. Casey was here. I'm going to assume that he absorbed the broadband somehow. This is Casey.
You
There's a lot of-
know, we
A lot of land
only
there in
just-
Oklahoma.
We only just saw a part of that. I think we need you to do it again because I mean, how do we know that you didn't just do a partial like you started with shoes, took them off,
Casey,
and then put them back on?
I could go out there with my flashlight and I could show you my little footsteps that went around the whole yard.
Casey,
So,
for somebody who took a nap at 8 o'clock at night, you don't need to go chastising anybody. Okay, just saying.
I'm just saying, we only saw a partial of it. Like he could have
Look.
changed it.
There's your one fixed camera. You don't get anything else. There's no instant replay, so you just have to take my word for it. Okay. I heard what you
Well,
guys
hang
were
on,
talking about.
Hey, Frank, put me on camera real quick. I'm throwing the challenge flag just for Casey so he can do his little football thing here and keep the skit going.
Okay.
So, there you go, Casey.
Flag.
Well, considering here in the great state of Texas, we're better at doing winter because we get through with our snow with like 2 days and we just get rid of that crap. So y'all need to get better at
That's
winter.
all that happens here, but for some every couple of years we get dumped on real hard. It snowed again today. It didn't collect much. The roads weren't really that bad except for in spots, and the grass got a coating, but that's about it. But yeah, I'm this California boy is done with winter here.
It almost never snows here.
Well, Frank, you could always go home and live in the fire. You'd be real warm. You wouldn't have to worry about
That's
snow.
right.
That's Southern California. That's not me. That's not our people. No, north of San Luis Obispo, that's where it's at. San Luis
You could
Obispo
go.
is the unofficial
You could go
cutoff
from
between
one
north and
extreme to
south.
the other. Instead of freezing to death, you're literally set on fire. So, which one do you want to do?
Those fires are mostly a Southern California thing. That's not us. Northern California, NorCal. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Right now, I'm here in the great state of Canada, 51 state, 51st. State.
The 51st, yes, the 51st.
So we're going to have to learn how to do this now, but we're minus 26 Celsius, so it's minus 14.8 Fahrenheit.
Oh, and to actually answer, because I was listening once I got off and driving home, to answer Casey's question about where are we going to put the 51st star on the flag, I have an idea. We make one, take the field of blue, right? Remove all 50 of the stars, put one gigantic star, and then put 50 smaller ones inside of that in like a blue color. How cool would that look on a flag? I think that could be our updated 51st state flag once we annex Canada. You know what I mean?
Well, I got a better solution. We can ex-nay Ohio, and we can accept Canada.
Well,
as 50th
no.
state.
No, see, Texas can reabsorb Oklahoma since technically that's our land to begin with anyways, and we'll keep Ohio. That is what I'll propose.
You can't have Ohio.
I didn't say I would keep.
I don't even want it.
I say we just let California secede since they kind of want to do it anyway.
Hey, I'm down. Hey,
I just forgot how much
the
of my
United
favorite
State
was.
of Texas sounds great to me. Bring back the Republic of Texas. I'm good with that. So.
And you know
So
what?
good.
Now that I've settled back into the computer, a little more hardwire thing. Casey, I invite you any day you want to come up here and run barefoot through the snow. You are more than welcome, sir.
Can I ask
The only
you,
time Casey runs is when he hears unlimited tots are on sale at Sonic. That's the only time he
To be
runs.
fair, I would. Too,
I don't know. When DoorDash shows up, he gets up pretty fast.
Wakes up from his nap like, oh shit, my food here.
He barrels through the door and tackles the DoorDash driver and starts
fucking-
eating while he's standing over his body like, yeah.
Like,
He fucking holds the belt over him like, yeah, champion.
Hold on. Can I ask a question to Jeremy? How
What's
do we know?
If you have to ask if you can ask a question, the answer is no.
How do we know that's not all like pre-recorded and that you didn't actually do it, or like
Because
That's
that little
green screen.
red thing up there in the corner that says live.
Gotcha.
what about maybe how we know it's not green screen? You know,
Let me know you're not pre-recorded.
What in the world makes you think that we're that high tech of a production to begin with?
I'm like,
It's-
I have a
it's-
green
it's
screen like
really
packed away
fair.
in that closet. I don't even use it.
And to be fair, my co-host uses a green screen, and we all see whenever he moves around, like things cut out and shit.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Casey.
well,
Like,
hold
seriously.
on.
Keep up.
It did cut. Hold on. It did cut out, didn't it? I mean, the
It
footage cut
apparently
out,
did.
didn't it? In and out. So that's what I'm saying. It could be a green screen.
Oh, good
So-
lord.
A green screen that covered the entire length of my backyard is what you're saying.
That's impressive setup you got, Jeremy. Wow.
That is a big, yeah, that's a massive screen.
Fucking
Now
screen.
let me explain to you guys for a minute what we were hoping to do with the Barefoot Beer Run this year. As many times as Jeremy has told me about it, and he's got other videos up on his Facebook page of times that they've done it with like Brooding Gamer and some other friends of ours, Sharkbait and guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about like trying to do it for the channel for the last couple of years, but the problem is, as we've said already, it doesn't snow here enough. We
Not as much as it used to.
not as much. Well, I mean, generally speaking, the weathers here are pretty mild. I mean, like 30 degrees.
Yeah.
And when it gets cold, it doesn't just get cold and snow. It gets so cold that the atmosphere here cannot create snow, and all the moisture in the air
It doesn't stick around.
Solid things like the ground, power lines, whatever. So we get ice, not snow. It got to the point where over the last like year or so, me and Jeremy were even like throwing around the idea of getting one of those snow making machines and like renting one and having it blow a bunch of snow like on our backyard and doing it like in the middle of July just to kind of like get it done. But
that's
they're prohibitively expensive to rent, as it turns out. I looked into them and they are not cheap. So short of getting some like grinder and grinding down all the ice that we can find over the course of 6 or 8 months it would take to get enough snow to do that, it's kind of a tough endeavor. So we are kind of at the whim of Mother Nature as to whether we're
the weather, yeah,
snow or not.
Yeah, so fuck you, Casey.
Yeah, and so
understand snow in Oklahoma.
And Jeremy's seen my backyard. I have a good sized backyard. And I was telling him, I was like, we really need to like, if we get a good snow, we'll do it at my backyard. My backyard is fairly open. I can just like outline a path going all the way back into my backyard and then all the way back around and to my porch. And we were kind of hoping to do that, but the snow kind of caught us off guard. And it snowed so much that it screwed a lot of things up anyway. I missed a couple of days of work. School was off for like an extra 2 or 3 days coming back from Christmas break. It really screwed a lot of things up. So it wasn't really easy for us to get together until we had like last weekend. I mean, we could have tried it, but it would have been just me and Jeremy. And I really wanted to get all of our dudes together and do it so we could really do it right and have fun. But it was too hard to get together with like 12 hours notice. And I was like, well, it's going to stay cold. So hopefully the snow will be around for a while. And I think it will, but it's going to be really hard to organize that without weeks of making sure that everybody's going to be available, figuring out where we're going to do it, things like that. And so that's as good as it's going to get for this year. But next year, me and Jeremy are going to constantly look at this and try to examine how we can actually get the Barefoot Beer Run done. Like me, him, other people, all like in one shot. Either probably live stream it, if not live stream it, like vlog it, so we can at least edit it and make it look really, really good. But the Barefoot Beer Run will be full-fledged on this channel at some point in the future. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
So I don't think you guys are gonna. No, you can't ask a question. I'm saying something. You're not gonna appreciate this. I can't. I see it in my head, and I'm not gonna dox anybody on here. But it's been well. We've talked about before on my show is that we had a video camera when we had our party years. So there's lots of dumb shit. And I remember watching this live. I've watched the video, and someone came in and was like, you need to go see what he's doing in the backyard. So we're from northern British Columbia. We got a ton of snow. And here is one of the roommates in a long brown trench coat for some reason, jeans, no shirt, no shoes, out by the back fence going, I am the snow goddess. And he's just trouncing around. And I know it doesn't hold it. I'm smiling because I can see the video. And he's just like, I'm from the Arctic. And he's like dancing. And it's 2:30 in the morning. And he's out in the snow rolling around.
Now,
Like,
was this like was he on like a whiskey drunk, or are we talking smoking
matter.
thing?
No, it was
Okay.
no, it was probably. Well, he was famous for in our liquor stores. We have a wall of cheap beer, and he literally would go this one, that one, this one, that one. $20, $5 a beer. So you know what you're getting for these big jugs of beer, like the
So I
worst.
was gonna say, were y'all getting into that terrible Canadian mist whiskey, that worst thing that's ever been created in life? The stuff that tastes worse than gasoline does?
What's that?
Canadian mist, that cheap
no, I don't
whiskey?
drink that shit. No, I'm drinking.
Yeah,
if I'm drinking
it's-
whiskey, it's Crown Royal or Jack.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
I'm not-
horrible. Yeah, it's
no.
terrible. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
all right. So, class. Casey has a question. Go ahead, Casey.
So, Jeremy, how
No.
do I know that you didn't
Jesus.
plow out a track around your yard, that you didn't actually
Yeah.
not walk?
Casey-
Am I really
Your
explaining
Honor,
snow to
Your
somebody
Honor.
who doesn't know what it is?
Can I,
I'm just saying, how do I know there's not a
as a snow
track-
expert, can I interject here?
I would love for you to bring your. I called Dr. Nick to the stand.
Casey, if you would have shut the fuck up and listened while he was doing it, you could hear the snow crunching under his feet.
Yeah.
You can hear
I
that
feel it.
because the snow has a hard surface on it, which probably hurt his feet, to be
So
honest.
hang on.
Well,
Let me.
Not only
by
the
the
cold,
way,
but it did hurt.
Hang on, Casey.
That could have been someone else, you know.
Did you
stomping
make up
in the
what?
snow.
Okay,
It was
well,
one
wait a
continuous
minute here.
shot.
See, Casey is interjecting a wildly stupid question that's not real. Then, as soon as somebody answers it, then he doesn't even let him finish before he answers the next one. Like with this, okay, let's say he put a track down, right? It's still snowing over there. So it's even if there was track, it's still snowing on top of it. You saw him go barefoot in snow. You literally saw.
I'm just saying, how did I know he didn't plow out a path for him?
Because I answered
Before
the
he did it.
question. You could hear
Because
the
Nick
crunch.
just answered your question.
No.
Well, and also,
You're like
as
Johnny
she
Cochran.
just commented, my own wife was the one filming me do that, so trust me.
See, in the world of conspiracy theorists, Casey makes the Q people sound smart.
Yeah.
This is the level that he's at right now.
He's like at the Chewbacca is a Wookiee. And he's not
Yeah.
frightened.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Well,
what he's
see, there we
doing
go.
right now.
Rachel is a honest, upstanding person of humanity. She's not going to lie on here.
No,
She
she's
just
in on it.
testified.
She's
Yeah,
in on it. She's part of the conspiracy. That's what
Well,
I'm
here-
gonna
okay.
say.
Here's the truth,
Okay.
Casey. Here's the truth, Casey. You know, I don't make this the last word because I do want to get to the TikTok stuff while I got everybody here. The barefoot beer run is not like you fucking around with flat Earth or some other kind of like goblin, like the whole Betty White joke. There's a certain level of integrity that Jeremy holds the barefoot beer run. There's a certain level of respect that he has for it. He is way less likely to lie about it. To do it dishonestly is not something that I would see him doing. Not to mention, as Tech said, Rachel is someone who I have the utmost amount of trust and respect for.
Right.
She lie
Yeah.
for it either. It's important to her because it is important to her husband Jeremy, and because it is important to everybody. The integrity of the barefoot beer run must be maintained, and I think Jeremy is one of the people that's going to maintain.
Otherwise, you're calling my wife a liar, and I won't find you in Oklahoma.
I'm just saying, as
Well-
a cheater myself, I had to make sure that this whole thing is legit. So I'm just
See, because that's what I'm saying. I think what Casey is trying to say is he wants to officiate it because he got some weird fetish about watching me run barefoot through the snow. I think we've all.
He's-
I just want
He
I think
He
I'm
did ask for
well-
feet pictures, so I mean,
I know
Casey
he's
is
been
a
down there
feet pervert.
inspecting and like measuring my foot and
Yeah.
shit. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying, I'm well respected in this community. People would trust my opinion.
That's one of the funniest things
There's
you've
a
ever
TikTok.
said,
Hang on, time out. Casey and well respected in the same paragraph? Oh,
I just
what?
did a whole sentence. Holy shit.
What?
Casey, I think what you meant to say was you are well respected at the local China buffet.
You said if I'm not there, people wouldn't say, "Hey, I watched it with my 2 eyes, and I was
I
there."
think all the people that were watching this watched it with their own eyes.
You're killing me right now, Casey. You're killing me. But anyway, that's the
Hold
have
on,
one
now,
right
seriously. How do we know if the snow was actually snow and it wasn't cotton balls in which we played them? You're all liars. What's Casey is wrong?
Was it
on.
asbestos or was it
Hold on.
snow?
I do have one more conspiracy theory.
Fuck off.
Uh,
How
Yeah.
how do we know he didn't have some flesh-looking socks on doing that? It
Because
looked.
at night, Casey. Anyway, moving on. I want to talk about the TikTok thing. We got to do this because this is one of the main things that people were going to be drawn to tonight. I know it. TikTok, it was banned. It was not banned. I don't know what the hell's going on with it, but it's happening. TikTok is back online after Trump pledged to restore it. Let's see, around 12 hours after shutting itself down in the United States, TikTok is back for many users, almost like it had never left, attributing its return to a move by President-elect Donald Trump to save the app. TikTok welcomed users back with a notification that said, "Thanks for your patience and support. As a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the U.S. The whiplash move to bring the app back comes after TikTok became unusable for Americans late Saturday night. Users who tried to open the app at that time were met with a message saying it was offline and asking users to stay tuned. That message read, quote, "A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the United States." That's not entirely accurate. "Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now." TikTok's message read in part, "The app was also unavailable on Apple and Google Play stores, along with Lemon8, which I don't know of, and CapCut, which is the other one, I think, which are also owned by TikTok's China-based parent company, ByteDance." There is a whole lot to talk about, a whole lot to go into, a whole lot of things that can be a whole mess. I don't even know where to begin. Alex, I'll go to you first. TikTok was banned. It wasn't banned, really. They shut it down. It came back. It's just kind of a mess. What do you think of this whole situation?
Ironically, even though I'm in the Bahamas, that would have fucked me over because, where am I going to watch my booty videos? Because I have my iTunes account set to set to the US, so I wouldn't have been able to update the app or download it because I don't actually have it downloaded. But in general, I mean, I don't really see why. Okay, I have a theory. Okay, I have a conspiracy theory. No, sorry, I have a spiracy theory, as Casey would say. Do you think this was some?
Big words are hard for him.
Think about that, right? Every person who owns a TikTok account in America, which is a lot of people, just got a notification that said, "Hey, you know that app you love with every drop of your soul and you almost lost money on because it wasn't around anymore? Donald Trump got it back." So, you should just like him and love him, and appreciate him for bringing back your livelihood and your daily modes of entertainment. So I don't know how this was done. Maybe he made some sort of deal with the TikTok people. Maybe he paid them some money or something. But it's a good look for him. Is all I'm saying. When you put it like that, it's a good look for him. Is all I'm saying. And it was only gone for 12 hours. They didn't lose much of time. Just saying. That is my conspiracy theory. Brought to you by Casey is Raw.
Oh, hey,
No.
by the way, before we move on, did Alex pimp out his fucking book today?
Hey,
No, but
listen.
we'll get there at the end of the show, I'm sure.
Hey, listen. Frank saw someone pimping it in the wild. Okay, it's not just me.
Nice.
He saw a lady pimping it on her strip. She reread the series 3 times and had a shirt from it. Okay, so it's not just me. Okay.
Nice. But I don't know. Let me go to you next, Nick. Give me your thoughts on this crazy situation that is TikTok.
Okay, so first I wanted to point out, Casey, did you take notes? You notice how none of us talked while Alex talked? It's sat and listened. He enunciated his words, and he drew us in. Okay, take note.
I love how he talks to him like a
What?
3-year-old.
Okay, secondly, about this, I don't care because I don't use TikTok. I don't. I actually, the only reason I have it downloaded is because everybody sends me shit. I literally open, look, at the video, and they close it. That was the only reason. I could care less, honestly. Doesn't matter to me. I don't use it. So sorry not to add to this. Okay, because I want to hear what the one below me is going to say, what conspiracy theories. See, you notice how Alex laid the conspiracy theory out nice for us, too? So now, Casey, it's here. Oh, sorry, Frank, it's your show, but that's all I have to say about TikTok.
I don't know. Casey, give me some of your quick thoughts before I get into the people that have IQs above their shoe size.
Come on, I'm a pretty smart guy here. I mean, don't talk down to me, Frank. I'm pretty smart. I mean, I graduated.
You don't have to talk down to him. You have to talk around this fat ass. You have to get around to that mouth.
By the way, when Alex said there's like some booty stuff, is there like nudies on TikToks?
Like, the internet.
That was his first question.
It's the internet, I'm
course it was.
sure.
Will I be able to
there are
find
sites for that.
Will I be able to find the Squid Game porn on TikTok?
But
Maybe not TikTok, but other places, I'm sure.
It's Casey, you can find a lot of black gals shaking their booty, you know. You can find them bad gals, them on there, you know.
but
Wait, I'm sorry,
Are we
that's not
gonna-
the type you like.
are we gonna see the footage from Grim just doing this stupid barefoot bear run on TikTok so I can see it, so we make sure this wasn't bullshit? So if it's on TikTok, I'll believe it happened.
I mean, I can
Casey,
send you like
are
how
you
many
going to do a
times I've done it on
barefoot Sonic
Facebook.
run now?
You can do you gotta lay like little golden donuts out for him as your rings to go collect. He's gotta go fast.
No, but just fucking around. No, I don't even have a TikTok at all. It doesn't affect me at all. So, and it's not because all the Chinese might be spying on me. Like,
It's the knees, man. Sorry.
I just don't have, I just don't care. There's other things than TikTok. I watch YouTube, so it has no effect on me.
I don't know. Tex, what do you think? Give me some of your quick thoughts on TikTok.
Well, this is not the first time that our government has proposed banning the TikTok. The Republicans some years ago talked about doing it, but it never got steam and it never went anywhere. Until AIPAC, the American Israel Pact, really got behind this once people started calling out what was going on with this whole Israel-Palestine thing. That's when this TikTok ban really got going this most recent time, which I find very conspicuous, by the way. But my biggest issue with this is number one, I don't have TikTok either. I'm not a 12-year-old girl looking for attention, making whatever kind of videos they do on there. That platform is not for me. I'm to the point where I think all social media should be just blown up and done with. But what precedent does this set? Let's say they were able to get TikTok banned, which, by the way, what's the difference in a YouTube short and a TikTok video? Pretty much the same thing, except one's owned by Google and one's not. I also find that kind of weird as well. But if they were to legally outlaw a communication platform, that's getting into some 1984 level stuff that I'm not comfortable with. I don't like censorship in any form, whether I like the thing or I hate the thing that you're talking about. We have the First Amendment. We have the right to say what we want, and TikTok is a way to do that. I don't think it should be banned. Now, I do think if it's going to be here in America, it should be owned by a free speech American, not the government, but a free speech loving American that wants everybody to have the right to speak, not like some Zuckerberg that is just now getting on. Oh yeah, I was for free speech the whole time. I totally did, cheat 2020 election, like he's trying to cover up for his butt. But I don't think it should be banned. but it does. If it's controlled by the communist Chinese, we need to take control of that, so that way our people are covered. But given how much technology, Apple's, iPhones, all that's coming out over there, how do we not know everything else is monitored as well? Maybe we just need to just go back to the Stone Age and say the heck with all of it. That might be the easiest solution. So, but
Jeremy, you use TikTok way more than I think anybody else here. You probably have some things to say about this. I know because you send me TikTok videos all the time, some of which I can't watch because I still download TikTok. But what do you think of this whole situation?
Yeah, since I'm apparently the only 12-year-old girl who just wants attention out of all of us here who uses TikTok, as Tex so eloquently put it.
Y'all need to stop saying 12-year-old girl. Y'all will get Casey excited.
Well, and I was going to say, I'm like, that's the beauty of an algorithm. I'm like, that's literally not... I've seen these decrepit old fucking reptilian fucking politicians talk about like, yeah, but they're naked kids dancing on my phone. I'm like, that speaks more about you, sir. Do you know what an algorithm is? I think you just told them. But they're so goddamn stupid, they don't understand that.
He said the quiet part out loud.
He really did. And so, but to be fair, I'm like, it's just another, I can't remember who said it, but it's like they're, I think it was Casey. It's like there are other social media platforms and outlets. It's not the end of the world. I'm like, there will be something else if it was going to get banned. They'll just go somewhere else. And as a, I guess, I mean, I'm probably considered an old man of the internet because, you know, I grew up with it and molded it into what it is now. You're welcome, Gen Zers. But I mean, I remember living through Vine and Vine being not for the same reasons, but also disappearing. And it's like, well, you lose something that meant something
Wasn't
to you.
Vine
Like,
literally the same thing as TikTok?
Yeah.
Kind of. Just short 6-second videos. And I think it's kind of what TikTok, which actually wasn't called TikTok because remember, I'm a grandpa. It was called like Musically at first. It was just short looping videos, just like Vine. So that's probably why people liked the appeal of it. And then it became TikTok and became what it was. You get longer form stuff that people can post. And like Tex said, I was like, I don't think it should be banned either. Because I'm like, now you're on this slippery slope of they're just basically saying, yeah, we can just shut that down. I'm like, that's literally a violation of the thing you're supposed to be upkeeping, which is the fucking Constitution. You can't just take away everyone's, platform to express themselves on. And they just said, we can't.
I'm taking one away isn't the same thing as getting rid of everything. I know people say that's
no,
a slippery slope, but I feel like that's a big stretch.
If they can legally get by with taking away one, in 2 years they can go and say, we'll
go get something
X
else.
X is very X is a problematic platform because fill in the blank. Now you can't use that. I don't like government control. We need to scale our government down. Don't give them more. Don't sharpen the teeth that they already have to limit our speech. That's why we literally have the amendments to go against this. This is why I don't like that.
And to speak on another amendment, I don't understand why people are like making the argument of like, oh, well, they're going to ban TikTok. I'm like, but they can't do anything about the guns. I'm like, no, the same argument applies. Like, no, you can't just outright ban guns. Anyone on this channel knows that. I'm like, what they do, we'll start with one little thing. Let's talk about arm braces. Let's talk about just lowers, uppers, suppressors, scopes, magazine capacities.
They can have them one at a time. You know what I'm saying?
That's what Tex was saying. I'm like, if they'll do that to that, they'll do it to one more thing, one more thing. And your big overarching thing is just social media in general. That's a big monster that you can't just kill in one swoop. And that's that terrible precedence of a slippery slope. If you take one away, I mean, yes, something else will pop up. Sure. I just think people are hung up on the wrong thing, that they think it's a national security thing. I'm like, I think they realized we were the fucking national security problem, because you can put something out there on that platform that millions of people are going to see in an instant. And too many people are all calling out your bullshit and you didn't like it. I think that's what it may have been. Now, it's also a stupid argument to say that, China's spying on us. I'm like, motherfucker, you're spying on me all the time too. Like, you're not any better.
Hey, it's okay for me to spy.
If I can speak to the FBI agent in my phone right now, fuck yourself.
It's rules. It's rules for thee, not for me. Don't forget that now. That's what I'm saying.
I know, and my final point to it is it's not only that, is it's like people either got their start and got growth out of a channel that they made on there or out of a business, and it's something that for years they got revenue out of, whether it be full-time or it may be something part-time you do on the side. And then that's what to me kind of made me upset, is that now they're just like, well, we're just gonna cut you right off at the knees. Like millions of people that get money from that, and they're like, no, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to still be poor, and you can't just be making money, which is an ironic thing for these rich people to say.
Right.
To be fair, so
I said something. Oh, sorry, Jeremy. I thought you were done.
Oh no, I was just basically done. Like that's to me what it was. Not only just people's free speech and freedom of expression, but also people that rely on it for money. And I'm like, you just kind of just cut them off now. And well, apparently not, because as I said, that was an awkward few hours, right?
And Donald Trump came to the rescue. I'm saying.
Yeah, I said the mean tweeting orange man gave you back your stupid app, so you're welcome. Like,
I think people are overplaying the Trump factor.
Me too.
here.
I think.
I don't think it really. Yeah, it's. I don't know.
I think I said this years.
Weird, man.
I've been saying this for a long time. You start taking away people's freedom to say what they want to say, regardless of whether you like it or not. Who is the one? This Britain passed laws. We have laws like that in Canada about hate speech. Who says it's hate speech? Who says what is hate speech? Because somebody like I'm a part of, I am a friend of the LGBTQ plus community. But at the end of the day, it is a small minority compared to the overall people with negative feelings towards that community. So who is the one to say like what is acceptable to say? We can't have, and you know, it does. You can't give people that power to decide what we say and how we say it. If you don't like what people are saying, ignore them. That seems to be something that, that is lost upon people now.
Well,
we should be able to disagree with what people's politics are, but still be friends. We should be able to have conversations with other people in our families and our lives. My mother is a born-again Christian, and I'm an atheist. And guess what? I love her more than anything in this world. And we can have these conversations, and there's no ill will or nothing. She says, you know, I'll pray for you. I said, well, thanks, Mom. Maybe that'll give me, if there is an afterlife, maybe those prayers will help me. But,
to be fair, I don't think there was ever a time in history where people with opposing views really got along with each other. But I do
don't
agree
think
with what
there
you said
was
about
venom,
hate
Alex.
speech. Though.
Well, to kind of back what Nick was saying here, though, I always reserve the right to say something. I don't care who you are, no matter what you're doing. I have the right and the ability to say whatever I want, whenever I want. Now, that being said, I also bear the responsibility of if I go into a movie theater and yell fire, then I get in trouble because I just committed a crime. But just because I might say something on a TikTok or whatever that you disagree with, and you go ban that thing, now we're getting to some 1984 level stuff that I'm not comfortable with and I'm not okay with, and I don't care if it's left or if it's right that's proposing it. If you are for censorship in any form, you are not my friend, and I am your enemy. I do not support that, and I will not stand for it. Just like Nick was saying.
What do you want to say, Casey?
Go ahead,
I am for censorship. So
you need to be the first one to the camps, and we just need to get rid of it.
I shouldn't have showed him my feet then. That was
just adios out of here.
So he'll be the lucky one because the algorithm can't understand him.
So that's interesting that you would say that, and whether you're joking and just trying to get a reaction from us, which it seems as that's what you're doing. That's interesting that you'd even think about like you were in favor of censorship for a guy who's trying to have his YouTube channel to be able to do what he wants on it, technically using property that belongs to Nintendo and Sega and other companies. But you're saying that, you're using products that aren't yours, Casey. At the end of the day,
no, that's not true. They're my products.
Well, no, you own the rights to Mario and all this stuff. You own the rights to them.
Well,
yes, I do. To the products I have, they're mine. They're physically mine. So, I mean, I could do whatever I want. I can put these cards up my bum if I want to.
That's the
No.
that's you're not listening to what I'm
Okay,
saying.
maybe a little bit of censorship. I don't think we came here for that.
So
No, I
on
mean-
my channel one time, my band, we went live and did some cover songs.
Right.
And we did 4 or 5 songs. We got copyright struck for every single song.
Yep.
Drop
And-
or
To take it
claim.
as that y'all just were that good at doing them.
Well, and
Oh,
right.
actually jokingly around, Alex said, well, were our covers that
Must be
good?
pretty
They
good.
thought it was us? Or did we
Oh.
thought it was the band? Because, yeah, we got every single one. So, Casey, again, I know you're probably saying it just to be you, but for a guy that has a channel that relies on other people's stuff, because at the end of the day, you're relying on you playing those video games to supply your channel with viewers and content. If they started censoring that kind of stuff, like they don't want video game violence and whatnot, whether it's 16-bit violence or up to now, that could fuck you over.
I got a solution. I
Oh,
got a
Jesus,
solution.
I'm sure you do.
You have solution?
I got a solution to the problem. I can just
Okay.
flip the image, and it's now no longer their property. It's because it's going to
People
other.
do that, yeah. That's true.
No,
So-
well,
Well,
see, but if
to-
you were
do
smart,
that.
you would have done that to begin with. And they
to
would never
touch
done
on something that Jeremy had brought up with Rachel there in the comment section, the whole Omegle thing. Now, if you want to go arguing platforms, if I were the judge in this, like it is my decision whether this thing stays or goes. If TikTok is predominantly being used to lure children into very bad things, then yeah, we need to get rid of that thing. But the majority of TikTok is not that. It's stupid fun challenges. It's planking or it's eating Tide Pods for the more stupid of us amongst the population. It's a myriad of things. And now it is problematic by who owns it, which is why I say a more free-minded American, and I'm not saying necessarily conservative or far right-leaning like myself, but somebody who has equal fair right treatments for all should be in charge of this thing. And like I said, I'm never going to use TikTok. It's not a platform that I use. The only reason I have social media here is so we can do all of our stuff here, and that's an X account and whatever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to TikTok, it's I don't want us to start censoring things, because once you kick that door down, as they say, you can't put the toothpaste back into the tube. Once it's out, it's gone. And this thing's, once this happens, you're going to have 15, other things that come from this. And pretty soon it's going to be state-run media all over, and your social credit score will dictate if you can use the internet or not. And I do not want to see that happen.
See, I just flipped my camera now. So technically, Frank can't say this is copyright. So I just flipped my camera around.
Just so you know, you didn't, because I could still read your shirt.
No, I can still read your shirt.
Everything you didn't flip it on the feed.
Way to fail, Casey. Way to fail.
Yeah, well, you nailed it, dude. I mean, you nailed it.
Right.
Casey.
Oh, that,
Good job, Casey.
Well, while
Good
Casey's
job,
trying to figure out how to
Casey.
press buttons on his computer, let me
One of
chime
the
in
little
here
Fisher
real quick.
Price toy telephone, yeah.
Yeah, everybody is missing the point on this. Now, okay, first off, the word ban is not exactly accurate. This is something a lot of people just aren't talking about. This wasn't saying that we're not allowing TikTok to exist here anymore. What they wanted was that TikTok to divest itself from the Chinese government, because the Chinese government is using it for all kinds of nefarious purposes. Tex was talking about the social credit score or whatever it is. That's the kind of thing they use TikTok for. It's not just getting data. Who was it earlier in the chat? Somebody said something like gathering data. Let's see.
I'm
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
the guy who-
already have
Hold on,
all of our
on.
data that they want.
Hold on. Tour Capture says,
Yeah.
yes, TikTok should be banned. This is all about data, and who wants the data? Good old Elon. That's who.
or Mark.
There's
Zuckerberg, too.
some data
They
that
already
there's some data that I don't really mind them having. Because YouTube, for example, It's looking at the videos that I watch, and it's feeding me more of those kinds of videos because it assumes I want to watch them. So if I'm watching NFL highlights, which I do a lot this time of year, if I'm watching movie trailers, which I do a lot, it's going to keep sending me things like that because it's looking at it and saying he seeks a lot of these things. Let's give him these things because we want him to keep using our platform. So that kind of data doesn't bother me. The problem with China is you can't do business in China without being owned by the Chinese government. That's what the United States is trying to avoid. They're trying to say, we do not want this to be the Chinese government's way of getting data and finding some way to use it against America, either its citizens or the government. That's what they were saying. So that's why they said they wanted it to divest, or it wasn't going to be allowed to operate in the United States anymore. So just saying that we're banning TikTok is a very oversimplified and not entirely accurate way of saying it all, which raises a question for me. Why doesn't TikTok or ByteDance, the primary company, which is owned by the country of China, the Chinese government, why don't they just diversify it and sell not a controlling stake, but at least a stake of the company to
at least sell 50%.
Either if not Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, one of the guys from Shark Tank had made an offer, like a legitimate offer.
Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary. Why not sell it to some American? The main reason why is because they do not want America to know exactly what they've been doing with the data, what data they've been collecting, or how it's been working. Do you know what TikTok looks like here in the United States? I mean, Jeremy, I know does, but I mean, do you guys know the kind of videos that permeate TikTok? It's all videos of, what was that one thing that was happening a couple years ago? People were walking out or dancing outside of moving cars and stupid shit like that, and all the basically the bottom of the barrel internet content that Alex makes fun
I never
of.
saw anything like that. I'm like.
It's the kind of stuff that Nick and Alex make fun of every Monday night. That's where they get so many videos. It's like, but if you go to China and look at TikTok in China, what are you getting there? There's videos about math, astronomy, history, all these things that are very educational and not feeding the bottom dwellers of the IQ of their country. That's what they're using TikTok to do, is they're trying to dumb America down because they're trying to take America over from the inside. Have you ever heard the Russian video from 1980 something where the Russian guy was saying, I know Tex knows what I'm talking about. It's on YouTube. You can find it, where he says, and this was like 84, 85 that he does this interview. He says, Russia and America's allies know how to beat Russia now. It's not going to be a full frontal attack with guns, bombs, soldiers, and all that stuff. They're going to happen
over the decades from the inside.
They're going to put people in here that use your system to erode you from the inside. That's exactly what China has been trying to do with this. All they wanted China to do, or TikTok to do, was to divest from China. And China doesn't want that to happen because then because once somebody who's maybe not pro-America, but who is not against the actual truth getting out, they're going to find out what's been going on and they're going to expose it. And then all of a sudden, we're not going to be very happy with China, which we usually aren't anyway. The other part of it is, God, they are just picking on the emotional retards that permeate TikTok. Let me show you guys this real quick. I got a go ahead, Casey, real quick.
Sorry to cut you off. I gotta take off. I gotta go over to the Rose channel. So
okay.
Thank you for having me on. So
all right, go check out Casey's Raw. His link is in the description below. He does all the gaming videos, things like that. Go check out Less Than Serious with him and Rose, whenever that pops up on Rose's channel. Go check all them out. Casey, thanks for being here, brother.
See you guys.
Bye, Case.
Later.
Adios.
But here's the problem. I got into our friend Sabrina that was here for the election coverage. She put this up on Facebook, and I think this is the perfect example of how uneducated people are about what's really happening with this whole situation. You guys listen to this for a second. I forgot to turn the sound on, damn it. Hold on.
Yeah, we can't hear it.
I know.
Tex, be honest, you weren't fucking listening for the sound. You were just watching.
TikTok being banned does not radicalize you as an American citizen. You are intentionally missing the point because it's not about TikTok. It's the fact that Republicans and Democrats across all legislative branches can expeditiously and unanimously pull together like never before and probably never again to streamline legislation banning a social media app while completely ignoring everything important to us. They can't pull together to make sure my kids don't get shot while they go to school, to fix the economy, to mandate livable wages, to kick hedge funds out of single-family homes so I can afford my fucking mortgage again. They're doing fuck all about homeowners insurance, stealing billions of dollars from Americans, and then leaving them for dead while their homes wash away in a flood or burn to the fucking ground in a fire. They, like every other country, can't pull together to outlaw the poisonous substances that are put into our food, creating an epidemic of obese, diabetic, cancerous Americans who need to lean on a healthcare system. They do fuck all the mandate in way of quality of service or cost. They won't give us free healthcare. They won't invest in infrastructure or education. But all of their efforts collectively go to banning a social media app. California is on fire. North Carolina and Tennessee washed away. New Jersey has geoplasmic orbs over it. Our kids get shot in school, and our economy is on the brink of fucking collapse. But their top priority is banning social media. That's where the effort goes.
Oh,
If
I think she
TikTok
might be
being
upset.
Fuck.
Did you guys get what I
Repeal-
got? Did you guys get what I got
Repeal
out of
the
that video?
19th. My lord.
Did you guys get what I got out of that video?
I stopped
Children
listening
don't know
once
how
I
to
heard they're shooting our kids up. But
Okay,
I saw a
here's-
video that I try to institute in my life now. Yelling doesn't make you right.
True.
Yelling,
Interrupting doesn't make you right,
and
too.
she's talking about stuff that it's just like what this has nothing to do with that. And I don't know how TikTok works. I don't know how monetization works, but she has 14 that I think had 14,000 comments and a whole bunch of views and likes. So I don't know how they get, if it's like from the commercials or whatnot they sell, but if that's the case and that's her income, yeah, I would be screaming and yelling and hopefully trying to rah whoever she's trying to rah in hopes to save her money making, Ponzi scheme before she ends up on a pole. Like, holy shit.
Here's what I noticed about that video. For about the first 28 seconds, she's talking about TikTok. She spends the entire rest of the video, about 67% of the video, bitching about all these things that are away from TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
She went from free healthcare to shooting my kids up.
Yeah, not only that, but she is the perfect example of what they are targeting when they go with this ban TikTok narrative. This over-emotional person who doesn't really get what the situation's about. If you were to go to her and explain what I said earlier about how it's not that they want to ban TikTok, they just don't want the Chinese government getting access to all this data and affecting the way that our children think. That is not anywhere near this woman's mind. It's not anywhere near the mind of 99% of the people that use TikTok. All they are doing is saying, hey, kids, they want to ban TikTok. We hate them. And all these kids go, yeah, because I use TikTok all the fucking time. We hate them. I don't want to ban TikTok. Not having any clue what the nuance of this situation is. So in that, China's succeeding. They're making all of our people fucking dumber with apps like TikTok. Look, I'm with what you guys have said earlier. I'm not for banning anything that I don't absolutely have to. I'm not for censorship at all. You have the right to say what you say. I have the right to say what I say. As long as we are respectful and there's discourse, and I'm not threatening you or inviting other people to hurt you because I disagree with you. You fight speech with more speech. That's the whole point of the Constitution. You fight speech with more speech. But you cannot deny that in this day of different kind of technologies that the framers of the Constitution could not comprehend, did not know were ever going to exist. You cannot deny that in a situation like this, where they are clearly using TikTok to affect the way Americans' brains develop, that something has to be done. So am I for banning it? No, because I agree with what Nick said earlier. It's a pretty slippery slope when you start doing stuff like this, because today it's banning TikTok. Tomorrow it's Maybe Zuckerberg's change of heart for the community notes thing isn't really what we want, so we're going to ban Facebook now. Then you start banning. Next thing you know, we're not living in 1984. We're living in the Man in High Castle, or we're living in essentially China. That's kind of what China wants, I think. They want to start banning stuff and going against the core values of being an American. I think that's kind of what they want. As far as Trump's flip-flopping on the thing is concerned, number one, Trump's an egotistical ass. Anytime somebody agrees with him, Trump's default position is that's a good thing because they agree with me. I don't think he always looks at the nuance. But I think that also he thinks that because of the way that he won this election through podcasts, Rogan, Theo Vaughn, all these other ones he went on, social media, that he used it better than any other candidate has ever used it before. Even when, especially this last election, not as well the last election because I think it would have made a difference. But this election, I mean, he was just chewing up yardage online, on podcasts, stuff like that. I mean, they're calling this a podcast presidency for a reason. I think because he thinks that was a tool that he's okay with it now. And I don't necessarily agree with that because I feel like they're going to pull back a little bit. The people at TikTok that are actually trying to do the damage, I think they're going to pull back a little bit because they want Trump, because having Trump on your side is going to help you do what you're going to do for a little bit longer. But of course, the point is there is so much nuance here. And the only thing that anybody is hearing is this emotional drivel that is less than 1% of the entire argument. There is so much more at play here than just where am I going to go for my TikTok makeup tutorials now. There's so much more at play than where am I going to go to watch my favorite influencer dance to the new Taylor Swift song. There's so much more than where am I going to go to watch these clips of Mr. Beast or whoever the fuck is on TikTok anymore. That's all that these people are thinking about. And I got to be perfectly honest, for those people who are making money off TikTok, I don't give a flying fuck if you're losing your living. That's one of the reasons that I don't want to monetize this channel and don't make any plans like I'm ever going to be able to make a living doing this YouTube shit is because I know already that it's fleeting. I mean, dude, we've seen it just people in our community. We were talking about Joe Cronin earlier, and he's had the changes that happened in YouTube, adpocalypse, the way viewership changes, that affected him a lot. And he went from making a good living on YouTube. I don't know what he was making. He was doing okay to where he was doing it for a living to all of a sudden he wasn't making that kind of living anymore. And for whatever reason it was, that's because social media as a job is fleeting. You can't tell me that this 15, 16-year-old TikToker, when they're 45 years old, is still going to be making a living on TikTok. There's no fucking way. No. Now, if you go to college and get a degree in something that you can get a decent job in, then when you're 40 years old, you can still be working in that field and making money. And, people will talk about loans and stuff like that. That's a whole different argument, I think. But I mean, this kind of stuff as a job has a really short lifespan. And a lot of people don't realize that. My stepdaughter one time told me she wants to be a YouTube influencer or whatever. And I'm like, okay, you're too young to fully know why that doesn't sound right, but I'm not. Who am I to crush your dreams? You're a smart girl. You're going to figure it out as time goes on. But I was like, what? All these kids grow up wanting to be on TikTok and they think they're going to make that money. For one, very few people make that kind of money. Very few people make that kind of money on social media. I mean, like I said, one of the reasons I won't bother applying for monetization on YouTube is because let's say I hit 1,000 subscribers tonight and 5,000 watch hours. I apply, they give it to me. What's my first check going to be? $6 for a month? I mean, just hitting monetization is one thing. Being able to do it for a living is way down the road. You're looking at least 1 million subscribers and at least 10 to 15,000 or more views on each video before you can come close to making any kind of money that you can call real profit off of something like YouTube. That's one of the reasons I'm just not going to bother. I don't care. I don't want to. I've got a day job. I can make my money and pay my bills doing that. I do this for fun. It takes the pressure off me not wanting to try to monetize any of this shit. But I mean, it's such an emotional reaction from some emotionally stunted youth that they don't understand that there's so much more to this than just, oh my God, now where am I going to go for my funny videos? Except for the 300 other websites that aren't doing some of this stupid shit. YouTube, fucking Facebook's got reels, Instagram's got videos. There's 200 other apps and websites that you can do this on. Now, maybe you're not going to make the kind of money that you made on TikTok, but folks, look, if you find a website that you like, you are going to pretty easily find through a Google search 30 other websites that do roughly the same thing. There is no one website that is the end all be all of anything you want to do on the internet. That's one of the beautiful things about the internet is that there's not one place you got to go for anything. You have options. There's so much more to it, and all we're getting is stuff that this stupid chick is saying. Oh my God, I'm comparing it to kids getting shot. Oh my God, I'm comparing it to the wildfires in California. Oh my God, I'm comparing it to COVID. This chick has no fucking clue what she's talking about. And
I'm sure whoever the father of those children are paying her fine.
And the people who are liking and loving and sharing her bullshit stance right here, they don't get what they're fucking talking about either, because it's an emotional response. They are not digging deeper into the issue because they read the headlines and think they've got the whole story.
It's not even that. It's just emotions. Yay!
It's not even just that. It's, people, and this is, Nick, I'm sure you'll remember this. It may have been even a month and a half ago or so. On one of y'all's shows, we started talking politics, and I pissed off like every one of the people that watched your show. Like every one of them was coming after me that night. It was nuts. And I was called everything from uninformed to stupid just because I'm on the other side of the aisle. Y'all know me. I'm neither of those things. I'm very well informed. I study stuff. I'm not going to sit here and talk about something I don't know about. But all those 14,000 people that watched that TikTok video are the uninformed of, because like you said, Frank, she spent 3.5 seconds talking about TikTok before she went to gun control and give me free stuff, healthcare. These are all hot topic issues that you can see on a CNN headline. Never read anything into it. Don't do your homework. Don't study, but just blurt the first 3 sentences of a paragraph. You look informed, and now everybody jumps on you because you're a chick on the internet, because that's what every other platform does. To quit, talk about what Jeremy was earlier. But it's just so dumb. So many of these issues are never going to be solved. We're never going to get anything done with it. Just because Trump revived TikTok it gave it a stay of execution or whatever is going to happen with it. It could go away tomorrow. Trump could literally at noon tomorrow. He has the power. One swipe of a pen of an executive order, it's gone again. We know how fickle his mind is. Just like you said a minute ago, Frank. This helped me, so I like it now. He may not like it tomorrow. This is a very volatile situation. This is not going to be solved quickly. So all these reactionary female channels need to go make somebody a sandwich and calm down. Whatever. It is what it is, I guess.
She doesn't look like she would make a good sandwich.
She looks like she makes a very sloppy sandwich. Gives a very bitchy hand job. She's just bitching the whole time.
Like she's one of the ones who will put one piece of the bread on sideways.
So you want mustard and mayonnaise? Oh my gosh! And just she bitches about it the whole time. Yeah, she's one of those.
This is what happens is when all these young people, whoever see this video and they spew this rhetoric out, this is what they believe is fact. They don't, and like they said, they don't take a step back and go, well, I'm not going to read to find out like what the reasoning is. They just see a clickbait headline. My co-host is always saying like, that's his big thing. Give me the information. Show me your source. Having some young
Trust me, bro.
Yeah, having some young woman on a video ranting is not a source. This goes all the way back. This is really something since COVID that it's always been like, okay, well, show me your source. I don't know if you got a text, probably remember. I got on a live argument with a guy on Facebook because he was saying stuff about the morgues were bodies from COVID. And I was like, from taking the shot. And I'm like, where are your sources? I promise, I swear I will read it. We'll read it on the air. We'll do your research. No, tell me where it is, and I will go read this. And then I can go, oh, but then when you say it can't be like, don't take the jab.org/zog or some shit. It's like, all right, like you're getting into the weeds now. I tell this story on the show all the time. What my old job, this gentleman was bitching about Jagmeet Singh, I believe his name is. He's the leader of the NDP party. He is an East Indian or Sikh gentleman. And the guy in the lunchroom's going on, oh, he was saying the stuff about my country, and he's not even from Canada. So while he's ranting, I just Googled and went, and I was like, hey, and everybody's in the lunchroom, and I'm like, he's from Peterborough, Ontario. It says right here. And he goes, well, he kept saying my country. And I'm like, maybe he's talking about Canada. And then he says, well, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, it does matter, because I called you out on your bullshit and I brought facts to your attention. And that's because I was sitting here. If I wasn't here to do that, to straighten the story out so everybody understands that you're feeding them a bunch of crap, they go tell more people, and then they go tell more people, and that's how misinformation gets spread. And this is exactly
it quickly becomes a game of telephone, and 5 people later, it's a complete different topic from what it started at.
You know what else is fun too? The people, I don't know if y'all have ever encountered this yourselves, but the people who you'll have an argument with, you're telling them the facts, they're fighting you tooth and nail. Y'all decide to just, stop, drop it, move on. And then like a week later, they'll come talking to you about what you was arguing to them. Like they knew it the whole time and you never had this conversation before.
100%.
Because that always drives me insane. It's like we literally talked about this a week ago. Why are you telling me like you're like not like let's use Casey for an example. Like me and him, like, oh, the earth is flat, oh, the earth is not flat. Then he'll come to me like a week later. It's crazy that people out there believe the earth is flat,
Well, there's also a different angle of this, though. I mean, when did chat rooms really get going? Maybe like the early 90s, like when mid-90s, whatever. Prior till then, the only people you talked to about this stuff were the ones that lived in your echo chamber, on your street, in your neighborhood, your family or whatever. So you had a very skewed view of whatever you were looking at. Now that we have this thing called the World Wide Web, we've got a guy in Canada, Texas, Bahamas, Ohio. We're all over the place. We're all bringing all kinds of different ideas, trying to figure out what's the truth, what's the whatever. Well, truth is it's a moldable thing on some stuff. And it only gets magnified on something like social media when, especially in the days of the engagement farming that, if you put a spicy post on X or Twitter or whatever, and 15,000 people click on it, you get $100. Well, that spurs a lot of this crap. So when Gurley gets on her little account there, I don't know what the pay scale is for this, but I guarantee you 14,000 clicks probably adds up to a pretty good little pay stub. And a lot of times you have people doing that here. And it's just sad to see because, like I said, prior to the days of, the mid-90s, we didn't worry about the world's problems as much because we didn't know about them. Now we are overloaded with a 24/7. We're constantly fed with information that we can't do anything about. If something happens in Washington, what am I going to do about it here in Texas? I shouldn't even be worrying about it because there ain't nothing I can do. But it's being fed to me on X and Twitter and Facebook and TikTok and 15 other platforms that tell me this is important. You need to get on it, jump on the hashtag. It's firing people up for no response. So they go make a nonsensical, rambling on TikTok about it. And it fires up more people. It is a fiery cycle of hell that never stops until the new thing comes out. It was, people didn't take care of North Carolina. Now California's on fire. As soon as, what happened to that whole train derailment in Ohio that caused a bunch of problems a few months ago? Nobody worries about that anymore. It's a constant news cycle. You're overfed. You're overstuffed. We just can't process it all. You can't keep up with it. It's a very unfortunate thing.
Me and Tex have been talking a lot, so I'm trying to shut up.
I was waiting for somebody else to pick up.
No, Jeremy can get a word in edgewise here.
Jeremy, it's been a while since you've talked. Do you have anything you want to add to this?
Right.
I mean, do you agree with?
I don't even know where the fucking plot is anymore, so I really don't fucking care.
My screen froze for a minute.
Well, let's ask the important question though. Well, then let's ask Jeremy the important question. That girl who was in the video, do you think she's hot?
First of all, she's probably like underage, and also no.
So I'm going to need to see her with identification and without makeup until I say she's hot. That's my rules these days. And I'm going to need to do
Well, I
a
think
cup
you
check
just-
to see if something, make sure there's nothing, dangling. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's a weird world out there.
Whether it be testicles or a huge labia, I need to know.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to need a cup check on every government form needs to, a cup check needs to be a regular thing. But yeah, I would push for that.
Yeah, all I know is, like I said, it's because most of TikTok's users are of the younger generations. They're all emotional. They get fed one line, one narrative to go with, and they don't think to read farther into it. And unfortunately,
group does.
And unfortunately, well, no, youth in particular, and I know this for sure, to be 100% true, because I was young once 100 years ago, and I was the same fucking way.
I've seen people older than me that stick to one fucking narrative. Like that's not strictly just people who are younger.
It's true, but when I say younger, I mean like the 12 to.
I know what you're talking about. People a lot younger than all of us. I understand what you're talking
about. Because when you're young, you tend to be way more emotional. You tend not to be as analytical. Right. Now there are some differences, but by and large, that's the truth. That's
I think it's more so uninformed than emotional. Uninformed and confident in your intelligence.
The problem, uninformed, but a lot of it comes from being young and not realizing, not knowing that when something happens, you can't just look at it on the surface and be like, okay, this is what it is. You have to examine the angles. You have to get as much information as you can to really understand a thing. They hear one thing and they go with it. So these 13, 14-year-olds that spend all their time on TikTok, they get told one thing: America's banning TikTok. They're mad at America for banning TikTok. They don't understand anything past that. That's the surface level bullshit that is all the shiny paint. What the workings underneath are way more complex than that, way more nuanced. But because they're young, they don't understand, they don't know that there is different layers to this whole thing. They just go with the one that the media or whoever wants to give them, because everybody wants them to be mad because America is banning TikTok. And it's so much more than that. I mean, go read some of this stuff. Tim Pool has been talking a lot about it the last couple of days. He's a real smart fucking guy. I mean, he's the one that's picked this whole thing apart. He's just like, look, there's a reason why everybody's getting mad, and it's the superficial line and not the deeper reading into this situation. Look, people read. Read. Read the headline, get interested in the story, and then go read the body of the article. Don't just read the headline, because the headline's usually wrong.
Yeah.
Well, do you want me to read into history that there was a particular German guy back in the 30s that was like, well, if I control the press, all the information that people get, and I suppress that might be a good idea.
That's exactly my point.
Different.
And a lot of
the I know that,
like for a know any better.
Well, I'm just saying, like, as a German myself, I'm like, well, I know that, and I know that's the same steps that like we were talking about. I'm like, what's the slippery slope? You start just shutting down one avenue of people expressing themselves. I'm like, well, it's going to get kind of dangerous. And like Tech said, I'm like, you don't want to start doing that. And I agree with something he said was, I was like, well, I know we're all like, well, you can't because China. I'm like, right. So do you want to sell it to the fucking American government? No, you fucking don't. Trust me.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't want any government in charge. Government needs to be as little as possible. We don't need to give
really
them
think
more
your
teeth.
own American government's going to fucking take care of it? Like,
right.
No, they're going to do whatever the fuck they want to do with it. I think
I don't trust. I don't care what flag your government's waving. I don't trust it. Anybody who, I joke about, oh, I'm running for president. Yeah, I'd never actually do that. I'm not a psychopath that way. But it's.
I keep saying, don't actually vote for me. I don't fucking want that.
Okay. See, all of these people that are up in arms about TikTok going away, do you realize tomorrow, as soon as Trump is elected president, he's going to go sit down at the desk, and they have already confirmed he is going to have between 200 and 500 presidential orders that go into effect on day one. Now, some of those will be good and some of those will be bad, depending on your purview. But don't you think that some of those issues might be bigger than, oh, how will I get my next TikTok challenge? Don't you think that might be a little bit more important? I could list 15 different issues right now that we don't have time to talk about that are more important than TikTok possibly going away.
maybe it's
if
just
that's how
my
you,
maybe it's just
if
my experience
if
with
that's
TikTok, and I'm like, I've never once had. It's like I think we're just
guess what?
narrow viewing TikTok as like, oh, it's just challenges and dumb kids being dumb. I'm like, I never once had that. It was people my age and older, like people collecting fucking like cool vintage lightsabers, people making like really cool sandwiches using
Right.
D&D, people like training their parrot to fucking talk, or someone making some dumb skit, which is actually probably 90% of what I saw. It's just them making funny
Right.
skits about like the government being stupid, which I mean, that's a tale as old as time. So maybe that's just because my avenue of experiencing this app was nothing like the fucking chick that Frank showed. I'm like, I'd never.
There's actually
went down that
route. Something you touched on earlier, Jeremy. TikTok's hot right now. What you talked about Vine that came before this. What was the video app that Twitter used to have years ago before they took it away? I can't even remember what it's called.
I thought that was
it
Vine.
doesn't.
That Vine and Twitter were one in the.
Or was it what? Either way,
Twitter and Vine were like
Twitter's hot right now. In 6 months, there might be a whole new platform. It might be who knows what it is. That all the TikTokers are going to leave and they'll go over to this thing. And then a year and a half later, they go to the next thing. And all of this argument we're having now will be for naught. It will be for nothing. Losing TikTok is not the issue here. It's the freedom that goes within it, which, like I said, I don't like a communist Chinese having any of our data, but guess what? We're all talking on devices that were made by an Asian man over in some Chinese nation right now. I'm pretty sure they have our data anyways. But you can't censor to that. If you take away somebody's voice, you can take away anything. I reserve the right to say whatever I want, whenever I want, and it's up to you to deal with it. So
censored to a point, because remember there were definitely Nazis walking in me and Frank's state capitol. Maybe we should put a little hold on that one, but
no, I don't even agree with that. I don't even agree with that. Guys. Unless you are calling for violence, you can say whatever you want. That is my only line.
I'm pretty sure. No.
So
if those guys got lined up and shot in the fucking street, I wouldn't have batted an eye.
Well, and hey,
and for being cowards for hiding your fucking faces. If you want to scream
under the beauty of this system,
state capitol, show your fucking faces. I dare you.
Under the beauty of that system, you have the right to say that because you have the freedom to speak.
And I'm not saying they don't, but I'm just like, man, you're spouting a pretty hateful rhetoric. Is what those guys are doing.
Because if you can take away those guys' right to speak, they can go to everybody else, and I do not support that. And I would fight. One of my favorite sayings is I would fight for the right to disagree with you. Basically, that's kind of my little version of it.
Well, that's what we were saying earlier. Is like people can disagree on stuff. You can have different ideologies, and like, but if you can, being part of being a grown adult is like respecting that. Like, okay, you have a different opinion than something I have.
Now, if those neo-Nazi guys that went into your Capitol said, "We're going to go in here and we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and we're going to blow up the moon," then yeah, you take those guys to jail. But if they're just going in there being an idiot, you let them be you let them be an idiot, and you make fun of just like what Frank was talking about. You counteract words with words and not taking away, because once we start taking away, if we take away from this guy, we can take away from him. We can take away from him. That is when we have gone too far, and I would fight against that. On any group, doesn't matter who it is, whether I agree with you or I don't. Even if you don't like me, well, like that girl video you showed on here, I would fight for her right to be able to speak freely, because that means I have the right to say whatever I want to, even if I disagree with it.
I have a feeling this is not the last we're going to talk about this, because we can
go for hours.
Now, apparently, Trump is extending the deadline 90 days. Now, in 90 days, do you really think that China is going to want to sell?
There will be a new hot button issue in 90 days. Trump will do something by then that everybody will care more about.
Hold on. Do you think that, whatever that is, do you think that in 90 days, this is going to play out to where they either close down TikTok in the United States again, or they're going to sell to some American investor that wants to put the money into it to keep the app going?
I would say within 90 days, one of Trump's rich friends will have a a probably half stake within whatever TikTok is, if I had to guess.
I have a question. What happens if TikTok is on your phone? Because if there's no legal action that could be
Then you're
taken
now
against
owned
you.
by the communist Chinese, and you have to do their bidding.
What
Pretty much.
I meant if TikTok was banned, right, and someone in America just decided, because it's nothing to switch your iTunes account to, let's say, the London, and then you download
Actually,
the app and
I
then use
saw
it.
So you
something.
can't. I don't think you can switch.
I
to,
saw
like, a
something.
VPN or
I
something.
saw something on YouTube earlier today. Even VPNs weren't working.
Yeah,
So
you
if
can't even switch a VPN.
And you use a VPN, and you can.
I've always
run
had a conspiracy there that those were bullcrap to begin with.
I don't think they're. I don't think they work exactly
No,
the way
they-
they say they do either. But even VPNs were not allowing people to access TikTok through other servers in Europe or whatever. So, which that alone tells me that VPNs don't do everything that they say they can do. But
I don't
whatever.
think it really matters if it's on your phone and, like, say it gets shut down. It's like if you delete it off of your phone, I mean, then you probably can't get it back if that is the case and it holds true. I mean, to from a gaming angle, my people had Angry Birds or Flappy Bird on their phone, and that got shut down. I'm like, well, if you still have it in your phone, you still have it in your phone. You just can't use it. And it's kind of a dumb novelty that it's like, oh, look, I have this phone that I can sell for 2-3 times the price because it had it on there. Or another game, like people had PT on PlayStation 4s, and like, well, that game never got made, but if you still had it on there and you didn't delete it because now you can't get it back. I mean, it was just like, it's just going to be something taking up space in your phone that, you know, if that's the case, and it's no longer being, it's no longer running. I mean, you have a weird novelty in your phone now. That's kind of all it would be.
I remember the whole Flappy Bird thing. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I was like, the Flappy Bird thing. You still have the game on your phone. I mean, it's like, okay, great. I mean, I never had it, so I missed out on that. I didn't have PT on my PlayStation, so I don't know. I missed out on 2. So maybe I'll keep TikTok and sell my phone for a fortune when it finally gets shut down. I don't know. Here's all the rest. Here's my TikTok data for real. Just take my phone. I don't care.
Yeah, because I was watching. I was flipping around YouTube last night, and there was all these YouTubers that were counting down to the TikTok shutdown, and even I was just kind of like, I thought that wasn't until like tomorrow or Monday or midnight tomorrow night or something like that.
No, they should have done like Saturday night.
And I was watching this one YouTuber. I don't know who it was. I didn't even bother subscribing to him. It was like a comment because it was kind of shitty. But, he was like refreshing TikTok on his phone until finally he got that message that now has been all over the internet saying, you know, TikTok had to shut down. Hopefully Donald Trump will come save us, blah, blah, blah. And that's when everybody started to melt. As a matter of fact, I even put on Twitter, I said, I expect a certain level of social unrest just because TikTok shut down. To say nothing about whether you think Trump getting inaugurated tomorrow is a good idea, to say nothing about anything political going on in the world.
Well, they've already...
I really did expect to see some kind of social unrest, people marching in the streets over TikTok, because that's how stupid some people are.
Well, it's kind of funny that they moved the inauguration inside, which they blame the weather, but it's cold that's a bullcrap excuse. Either the people that the Secret Service and the FBI, whoever, have news of a credible threat or something else, or they're worried about some kind of guy in a truck running through a crowd like they did on New Year's. It's funny the timings of how all these things happen. Time when events like this happen, the timing is never a accident. I firmly believe that. But you know,
we're like, hey, we're going to shut this down on the 19th, and then 20th, this guy becomes president who can actually do something.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, like I said,
Trump got it back up a day before he's being, you know.
Now, that's the one thing I'm like, now wait a minute, he's not even president. How the hell did that happen? That's where I'm confused. I don't know who paid who off.
Week that Trump has been running the country since the election. That's why.
Hell, 6 months ago, Vladimir Putin was talking about how he would meet with Trump whenever Joe Biden was sitting in the Oval Office. Everybody knows Joe Biden was president in name only. They knew Trump was coming. Why do you think they threw Kamala in here? They knew that they could have thrown their best from the Democratic side. They weren't going to stop Trump with that stealing it higher than Georgia Pine. There weren't no way around it. And Trump's been, just like Frank said, Trump's been the president for a long time. He just legally becomes it at noon tomorrow. And I mean, we'll see what comes of it. Like I said, I would suspect whether it's Kevin O'Leary or one of Trump's rich friends, I don't want Elon getting a hold of it because he already has enough power. We need to decentralize power. I mean, look at like a Lex Luthor in the comic book, or whatever it is. Any rich guy with that much power always ends up bad, and Elon's already questionable as it is. So somebody else needs to have TikTok, not Elon. Elon's got X and all his stuff, so he can create his own version. But whatever.
Actually, Trump already did.
You make Mark Zuckerberg's wet dream come true, because I mean that was his biggest competitor, and he's like,
"Oh no,
now I have it."
Mark Zuckerbot and his brand new haircut. He doesn't need anything else. He's the biggest turncoat I've seen. 4 years ago,
no
he was
influencing.
He was influencing election on the other side, and then as soon as the turn was on the other foot, he's going to Joe Rogan because he knows everybody watches that. Oh no, I'm actually a good guy now. We're going to community note. We're going to yada
You
yada.
have
whatever.
never in your life been a good guy, Zuckerberg. Shut the fuck up.
Somebody called him.
Yeah.
I think Tim Pool a while back called him a fair weather friend. He's talking shit about how great it is that Trump's getting elected and buddying up to him now. In 4 years, chance Kamala Harris is taking the oath of office 4 years from tomorrow.
Just like we talked about before we went live. All these new people who were MAGA, the Tulsi Gabbards and all these people, even like a RFK, all these people that came over from the left that are all of a sudden MAGA. Why? Okay, Trump had a rally today. Why are they having a Republican rally that closed with a performance by the Village People, a gay group? Or not all of them, but a gay predominantly group. The right is being infected with others that are jumping to the winning team. Not all of these people are real. We need to calm down here and start really measuring people about what they are. So we need to be careful.
That's what we were talking about earlier. I was like, somebody
turncoat's
a turncoat.
Yeah, it's pro wrestling. 2 weeks ago, Trump and Mark Rubio were fighting, and 2 days ago, Trump is, promoting him to whatever. It's all pro wrestling. That's all fake. It's all this politics.
Trump has been involved in what? WWE.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm saying. Whether it's pro football, whether it's politics, Vince McMahon's wife is in the Trump administration. This crap is everywhere. It's just, you can't get away from
it. Who knows what tomorrow is going to bring? I'm with you, Tex. I don't think they moved the inauguration indoors because of the weather. They've had cold weather inaugurations before.
Oh, yeah.
I think they were just like, after Butler, after the golf course 6 weeks later, maybe we're going to use the
Stevie Wonder could see that.
The rotunda, just so we have that little extra thing of protection.
Yeah.
I was gonna stream for the inauguration tomorrow, and I might still just do my own little reaction, but in large part,
also in his 80s. I mean, if you're out there in the cold, that shit's gonna hit you a little harder.
In large part because I was wondering if somebody was going to take a shot at him again. I hope not.
How many alien drones are going to show up for the inauguration? That's what how many truck-sized alien drones are we going to get?
That's the other thing that chick said. She was talking about glowing orbs in Jersey. I'm like, they're not glowing orbs, bitch. They are drones.
Yeah, that shit was a little ridiculous. That was dumb.
Everybody knows they're man-made human drones. The question is, where they come from? Who are they? That's the question nobody ever answered.
Well, remember, our government did try to tell us that aliens were real, and we kind of just went, okay, cool.
It's clearly the Greys that have finally gotten to Earth. Glock Gloop and Zebu have finally revealed themselves with these truck-sized drones, and they're going to take over the government. So,
good God. I don't know. Tomorrow's going to be a hell of a day there. I will probably also go live tomorrow for the Ohio State Notre Dame game.
Jones.
I will. I may do that.
I'll be rooting for your Ohio State team because I hate Notre Dame. So go Buckeyes.
Well, I'm God by default. You had to really just. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
No other choice.
But yeah, I think that's a good place to start wrapping things up. We've got a good 3 hours into this. We have plenty of talk with a lot of really people tonight. I want to thank you guys for coming around and hanging out. I very much appreciate it. I'll start with Alex Payne. Alex, give me what is some of the stuff you got going on the internet, my friend?
Oh, let's see if he does his thing.
That's it. Nothing.
Nothing. He shows up here every now and again to talk some shit.
How don't we all?
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Well, come here if you want to hear Alex Payne talk. I need to get Ray over here. I need to reach out to Ray and see what he's got going on. Need to get him in on a review.
You probably could. You just got to catch him. He's a busy fella these days.
I'll get to
There
him.
you go.
Hey, if you talk to him, don't reach out to me. I got to get him on a review. I got to have some fun. But also, Dr. Nick, what do you got going on Monday, my friend?
Tomorrow night, me, the Garbage Man, with my friend Alex. We will be doing Alex and the Garbage Man. Join us here at 7 o'clock Berta time, 6 p.m. Pacific, and that'd be 9 o'clock Frank time.
Yep.
So, join us. We just, not this long, but I'm sure we'll touch on a lot of subjects. Alex is much more articulate than me. So,
Well, it's because he's a paid shill from the New World Order, Nick.
Just like he said. So, just like Nick said. So, join us tomorrow night, and just come listen to us and voice your opinions with text in the chat. So, thank you for having me.
In the Shades and Lone Star State, my man Tech, working with the folks at home.
Well, I assume we are reviewing Wolfman on Tuesday. So do not go see that movie. It is hot garbage juice. Blumhouse crapped out another one. I have to publicly come out and denounce that movie after telling people to go see it. So do not go see Wolfman. Watch one of the old ones. They're better.
I'm gonna try to squeeze out for a couple hours tomorrow and go see it. I will make the determination then as whether we're gonna do it or not. But
no, Nick just said I'm right. You can listen to me. Nick said it himself. I agree with me. So you don't need to go see it, Frank. Just trust my opinion. It's fine.
Just move on to something else.
In my hetero life mate, who certainly likes to run around the snow in his bare feet, I mean, where do the folks don't find you, sir?
I'm always on here when we're not doing Die Hard because I was not gonna. As much as I wanted to help Tex with that argument, I just didn't feel like doing it. So it's an exhaustive argument, and as we mentioned earlier, just because you're loud about it doesn't mean you're fucking right. And by the way, you're not right. It's not a Christmas movie, so whatever.
But
so yeah,
Die Hard 3 was it a Labor Day movie, Frank? Is that what we determined?
did they make one for every holiday? I don't fucking know anymore.
It was one of those, yeah.
Arbor Day, yeah. We said it's an Arbor Day.
Arbor Day. It was Arbor Day, yeah. Because I said it was Arbor Day because it had trees in it. That's right, yeah. That's what I determined.
At least it wasn't a Christmas tree. But no, I'm here Tuesday and Thursday, and I may have figured. I was looking at this in between the little breaks I took when you guys were talking about other subjects. I may have figured out this capture card, so maybe I don't have to buy any new tech or do any other whatnots. So maybe I can actually get this going. I think with what I saw with the cores and how it's set up, I think I can do it with what I have right here. So. And that'll be when my computer craps out on me because once every show now it just decides it doesn't want internet anymore. So I don't know. Maybe it's the damn Chinese coming after me. I don't fucking know. Just because I watched a video talking.
You've been on that TikTok. You now belong to the communist Chinese people.
Here's my last point to that whole thing. I tried to make videos and it just didn't work. So I just look at funny shit and laugh at it. I got hit with some dumb shit trying to make videos. Like some guy made a Boondock Saints TikTok. I thought it was really cool. I thought I'd duet with him, and he used like a very clearly spray painted Nerf gun. So I used mine in full color, orange and blue and white plastic, and I got fucking like taken down like that. I'm like, right, but he's allowed to spray paint his gun black and whatever. Okay. This app's stupid. I'm not making content on it. So
you should do a TikTok of you doing the barefoot challenge. Just tie it all in together.
Well, yeah. I meant like I just thought I'd try to do something cool and mirror because he was pointing his Nerf gun one way. I thought I'd try to mirror it and make it look cool like the Boondock Saints, and it just apparently I was wrong for doing that. So I don't know. It was just dumb. Its rules were stupid.
As for me, you will find me here tomorrow, at least for one live stream. I'm either going to do the inauguration and the college national championship game, or I will just do the national championship game. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think anything crazy is going to happen in the inauguration, but I might do it just for shits and giggles. And in between those two streams, I will try to squeeze out and go see Wolfman or Werewolf, whatever the hell the name of this movie is.
It's not a werewolf movie. Don't go into it thinking that.
Well,
It is not a werewolf movie. No.
it's not like Twilight.
I think
He
it was
doesn't
marketed wrong. It's not an
his-
actual werewolf.
His skin doesn't glisten in
No.
the sun when he gets exposed to sunlight, right?
There's
Okay,
no
well,
sunlight in this movie. It was dark as shit.
He's got that going for him then anyway. But yeah, so we may be doing that Tuesday night. We may be doing something else. I will decide that over the course of the next 24 hours. But thanks to my co-host for being so awesome as usual. It's been a fun night. I'm glad you guys were all around for it. Thanks to all of you who are watching. We had people watching on Twitter. Nick was sharing it out across his social media stuff as well. Thanks to all of you. And we will see you guys tomorrow night. I will anyway. Till then, adios. I mean,
Hail the MAGA King.
whatever.
Well, I'm glad you guys said that shit about the Wolfman because I really don't want to watch it. Like we watched
Dude,
the
that
trailer
movie
when we
was-
saw Nosferatu, and I looked at the wife. I'm like,
I was so mad. What I was so mad. They just it was bad, dude.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.